on those services after President Trump issued an executive order that threatened their federal funding. The decision to resume care came after federal judges blocked the president's order due to ongoing lawsuits. Colorado's Attorney General announced this week the state will join one of those suits. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Try a $3 Son of Baconator today.
All right, little better on the conditions out here. Certainly wet, sloppy, slushy, still a lot of splashback, kind of a hazard in itself. But off the freeway system, snowpack, bridges and ramps are very tough also. We do have one accident eastbound 70 at Wadsworth left lane with backups to Kipling, and now it sounds like an accident in the backups near Kipling, but speeds are climbing in most areas. It's a hazardous drive with all that splashback. Unfortunately, heading into the mountains is going to be very tough. 3.5 hours just from Golden getting to the Eisenhower Tunnel. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
Big news, bacon lovers. Wendy's Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. For just $3, you get crispy, crunchy apple smoked bacon, 2 juicy beef patties, and plenty of cheese on a burger. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino, and I've seen the wrong way to sell precious metals, tangled necklaces, mismatched earrings, broken watches, coins. The wrong way is not knowing who you can trust. That's why I recommend David Ellis Jewelry on 3rd and Clayton. He'll weigh it and pay it. He'll even buy your fine jewelry and diamonds. I've known him 40 years. It's time you get to know him. 2640 East 3rd Avenue. That's 3rd and Clayton. 303-322-8779. 322-8779.
Hey, Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
We've become so much more than a fixed frequency from a radio tower.
Take your radio with you.
630 KHOW is now available on multiple platforms and thousands of devices. Listen to Denver's talk station from anywhere.
I stream online
at KHOW.com. Denver's talk station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now at KHOW.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Yeah. Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. We are here to help you solve problems, answer questions, take complaints, make your life a little easier each and every day, solving problems to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. So welcome to the show. We're happy you can join us on a Friday, and it's a snowy Friday, so please be safe when you drive. And speaking of driving, you know, it is car day on Friday. We do a lot of car issues on Friday, but not just cars. So anything you want to call about, you can. Just some programming notes. We were trying to stream Mark in, but I had some technical difficulties here, and we have a lot of the ports used up. In other words, so we couldn't get him in. And maybe he can call in on the station and be on the hotline. Something like that might work. But whatever he decides to do and you guys decide to do, I'll do it. We also have Kevin Calkin here from SheridanAutotech.com, and I see Deputy D as well. Welcome, guys, to the show. What's going on in your life and how can we help you? Let's see when it comes to cars, okay? So here's what I want to talk about when it comes to cars. Should we be switching to EVs? I mean, really, how much time? I go through this dilemma over and over, and I'm at an age now where I used to joke, how many cars do I have left? You know, if you looked at a car's average 3 years, how many cars do you have left? Well, I'm 3 cars away from never needing a car. I mean, I hate to look at life like that, but you know what I'm saying. I'm not 3 cars. I don't know if I'm 1 car or 3 cars or a half a car. But in general, what I'd like to say is this. Cars, is it time to switch to an EV now, this time around? If you're looking for a car, Or is it too soon? Is it too premature? Deputy D, I see you there. What do you think? Is it time to switch to an electric car? Or do you think we're going to have another 10 or 15 years of viable motor? Okay, now Kevin's there as well. Just move that over a little, Kelly, and just get it square. I mean, we have a lot of space on over Dimitri's left shoulder we don't need. But in any case, thank you. And we can... So what do you think, Kev? Is it time to get an EV right now? And I'm going to transition so I can get these guys in.
Well, I can definitely see the desire and the benefits, yeah. But I still think technology is still changing rapidly. So I'm still on the fence a little bit, still waiting.
Okay. So this time around, you wouldn't do an EV.
I'm very, very tempted, but I'm still waiting because I think it's going to get even better.
Okay, so that's the point. At what point do you do it? Like Mark used to say, when I did my clear lens exchange, I'm not doing them yet. I'm not doing them until they're perfected. I said, well, when will they be perfected? Nothing's ever perfected. How many times have we had our smartphones perfected or anything we buy? Yep. I mean, laptops. I mean, I have iPads I can't even use anymore because they stopped supporting them. I mean, so at what point do you call it good? At what point do you say, well, okay, we can get it done? I mean, even if it's not perfect, at least it's something, right? So, anyway, I'm having that dilemma now. Not that I need a car. I only have 29 grand on my car, but I get tired of cars, and it's coming up on 3 years. And I don't mean tired of them. I don't know. I guess we do. I guess most people have to admit they don't buy cars when they wear out. They buy them when they get tired of them. Except Dimitri. He rides the wheels off them. He's not tired of his Toyota at all. He's not tired of it at all.
Tom, I love it more and more every single day.
Really? You don't miss technology? I'll love it more. What about technology, self-driving, GPS, all of that?
Well, I have zero interest in self-driving. And as far as GPS, my telephone has that mapping software that gives me turn-by-turn directions. Yeah, but more importantly, it knows about traffic jams and accidents and lane closures that I wouldn't know until I actually encounter them.
But you don't want to be surrounded by...
I have that.
I don't know. I like new things. Okay, so I'm asking people today if they're ready for an EV and what EV. I was looking at a bunch of EVs, and I want to spill this guts right now because it's almost like a catharsis here. Do you know that, and I don't want to say, and let's not talk about affordability and stuff right now because it's none of anybody's business at this point, but I was looking at all kinds of price ranges. Let's just say I could wave my magic wand. I'm not saying I will or I can, but I want to do a theoretical shopping experience. So I'm looking at Deputy Doc's car, a beautiful car, a Hyundai Ioniq, I believe. It's a beautiful little
Kona.
What's that? Or what does he have?
It's a Kona. Yeah.
Kona. Okay. Beautiful electric car. All in what it was over 30 grand, a little over 30 grand?
I think just under. Yeah.
He loves this car. Okay, now then you look at the car Mark's looking at. A 2025 Plaid. By the way, the new Model S looks a little like a Corvette to me. It's an outrageously nice car. That car will top out at around 100 grand. And it's Tesla. And it's got almost 400 miles of range. Now, everyone's getting into it. So I looked at, and everyone's saying, do not do this, do not do this, do not do this. All it is a big old-fashioned clunker on top of a battery. And that's the new G580. Have you heard of it? Kevin?
I haven't seen that one. No, I haven't seen that one yet.
Do you know what it is? It's an electric...
Do I know what it is?
It's an electric G-Wagon.
Yeah. No,
I mean...
I haven't seen the pictures.
You know, it had
same body style?
It looks exactly like it's a G-Wagon, except it's electric. Cool. Now, they made some minor changes, but they made the changes to all G-Wagons. In other words, there's nothing exclusive to the 580 except it's electric. Now, they have a motor on each wheel, 4 motors, one on each wheel. They say it is unstoppable. It only has a 230-mile range or something. Think about that. And that's in ideal conditions, 230, 240. That's really low. And then the only difference is where the big spare tire on a G-Wagon is, they have a big, they have that container still, but it's rounded. It's more of a rounded rectangle, a rounded square, a square with rounded corners, and that's where you store your charging cable and stuff. So it's really and you know what it weighs? 6,600 pounds. 66. So it's an electric G-Wagon. And they have some in town, and I looked at them because, I'm thinking, leasing right now is the way I want to go. I'm not gonna expend the capital I used to when I was younger because there's no reason to, and I only drive 10.5 a year. I could do a 12,000-mile lease. I've been talking to JFR Cars about leasing, and here's the deal. People would say I'm nuts. Why not just get the Tesla? They've perfected it. Or what about a Rivian? Or what about, there's all kinds. I mean, see, that's the problem. Everybody's coming out with one. What do you do? So I want to get opinions on EVs, one of my topics today. Tom has a question. Go ahead, Tom. What did you want to talk about?
Yeah, on the EV, I'm not going to ever buy one probably. I'm kind of waiting for the hydrogen fuel cell vehicles to come in.
Well, I mean, I imagine eventually it would happen, but my God, are you really going to wait for that? And
well,
then, are you going to be and then are you going to be an early adopter for it?
Maybe. It depends on what the price point is on that. I had a question for you about the Tesla Powerwall 3.
Yes.
Battery, whole battery, battery for a house.
Yes.
What do you guys think about those? Are those worth it?
I think they're wonderful. But here's the problem. Do you have first of all, do you have room for it?
Yes, and I've already got a solar system in place.
Okay.
I'm pricing them out right now, but I'm wondering, so that they've only got like a 10-year lifespan. So at the price that I'm getting, even with the rebates that you get back, it's about $1,000 a year to have the battery back up, and I'm just wondering if it's worth it.
Well, it is if it is, and it isn't if it isn't. It depends on what you're backing up and how bad it is. That's really expensive, by the way. There are other options. Have you looked into other battery backups? In fact, Tom, what I'm going to do for you, I'm going to take a break right now. Hold on. We can call you back. You can hang on or you can listen. Either one. But if you have follow-up questions, you may want to hang on. Let's call Brooke over at redrocksrs.com. Let's do that and figure out what we're doing there. Let's do that. And she'll have all kinds of ideas for battery backups, okay? And speaking of good people, waterpros.net, again, extending that Valentine's Day special, $31.95, a whole house system, which includes softening. It includes whole house chemical removals of PUFAs or forever chemicals and drinking water at the kitchen sink. You will never touch this price ever. You will pay 5 times more from a plumber. And it's $31.95, waterpros.net, 303-862-5554.
Facing a
Szymanski's on the line. He's ready to go.
And we
a severance package, or what to do with your 401k. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money.
Spring is coming.
488-8604. That's 720-488-8604.
I want to talk to Marc Szymanski. Now, Marc and Madeline run GenesisTotalExteriors.com. I've known them for years. And as I said, it's refreshing to have a company in the construction business that can do it all. So as we talk about spring coming, and it's not too early to talk about that, what should people start doing right now?
I tell you, Tom, now is the time to call up and say you think, gee, I need to get my house painted, I need to get new windows, I need to get new siding, or you never did anything about your roof last year that got hail damage. Now's the time to call. I mean, last year's hailstorm was May. Time is approaching. for your 1 year mark to get things done, and call us and get on a schedule. I mean, I know we got snow today, but it's going to be sunshine tomorrow. And, spring is coming, and now is the time to book appointments for things that you need done.
And it's a fallacy that it has to be warm weather anymore to install roofing, right? You can get so if they're coming up on their 1 year limit for their homeowners, they got to put in a claim. And there are roofs you can install even in cold weather.
You bet. We got the Atlas shingle goes down to 0 degrees. We can install it at 0 degrees. Not that I want my guys out there working when it's 0 degrees, but that shingle is capable of doing that.
Right, and you can also turn your attention to kitchens and baths and basements as well. Whatever it is, GenesisTotalExteriors.com. People I know and trust, and you can too. He's been around a long time. 303-679-8509, 679-8509. I love talking about Frank Duran. TheRealEstateMan.com. Not only does he buy or sell faster and for more money, but he will do a free market analysis of your home, and it's really, truly free with no strings attached. Honest to goodness. He does a complete analysis. He wants to give you the information you need to make wise decisions on what you will get when you sell based on his selling techniques, on how long it'll take, what you'll net, and what you can even buy. Call Frank for a free analysis, or if you want to list right away, or buy. 303-920-1622, 920-1622. Frank Duran, TheRealEstateMan.com. Okay, how's everything sounding right now? Everything hot? Anything good? You need me to make any adjustments?
You sound hot, Tom.
Nah.
Don't touch a thing.
I wish we could have a fixed camera in the studio. It's a lot on her to get that done in the beginning.
Tom, we can easily mount one on the wall.
Yeah, I know it's easy, but the IP, the feeding to my OBS is the issue.
Oh, you mean the actual making a daily connection?
Yeah, I don't know how to link it. I don't know how to put a video link in it. We use a Ninja as a special link that I pick up on the internet. It's like a private internet.
Oh.
And so without linking the camera, there's no good. I can't believe Doc says 27 grand all in out the door with his car.
Yeah, he did well.
Gosh, dang, he did. So, Dragon, all our accesses are taken for Marky Poo.
That is correct.
Wow.
BCO's on 4, Rockies are 1 and 3, traffic is on 2.
Okay. And who's on first?
What's on second?
Oh. And let's see, what's that other question they asked? And let's see there. I forget that routine. God, it's so funny.
I think I'm wearing that shirt.
By the way, Brooke, I need Brooke from Red Rocks. Brooke.
10 seconds.
Does she know that?
Red-Pilled America, a storytelling show for America.
Who knows?
Hey, it's important. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So listen, let's talk. What's on your mind today? 888heating.com should be on your mind. If you're cold, they do high efficiency systems. If your system is 15 years or older, you're going to save money actually because you save every month. That's 888heating.com. The best prices for high efficiency replacements. We're trying to get Brooke from Red Rocks RS, Red Rocks Roof and Solar, to talk about battery backups. Part of that is the Powerwall. But Tom, you told me something I never took into consideration. And a lot of people don't. When you take things that age out, and a lot of things age out that we're not aware of, some things age out and they make you publicly aware of them. The most famous things that age out are aircraft parts and components. So you can put a hard cost to owning something. For example, if an engine gets 2,000 hours before a mandatory FAA mandatory overhaul, then you would have to have a price on that. So, using stupid numbers, if it's a 2,000-hour engine and it's a $2,000 overhaul, that would be $1,000 an hour, right? 2,000. Or excuse me, $100 an hour, or whatever, $10, whatever the hell it is. I'm sorry, but it started out to be an intelligent discussion. So what you have to do is amortize it, and you're telling me, Tom, that it's $1 an hour, 2,000 an hour, $2,000 would be $1 an hour. Okay, I digress. So on this solar wall, are you telling me for sure that it has a definite time span?
Yeah, it's got a 10-year lifespan on it.
Now, do they
sure
say recommended or approximate lifespan, or is that you must replace at 10 years?
No, it doesn't say you must replace. It just says 10-year.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. 10 years, and it costs how much to install?
It'll cost, by the time I get all the rebates and so forth, it'll be about $10,000 for a Powerwall 3 plus an extender pack. So that's 2 batteries basically that both are 13.5 watt.
Tom, what's your reason for considering this wall? What's the problem or enhancement that you'd like to solve with it?
It's battery backup.
Well, and that's the thing. Yeah, it's battery backup. When the power goes out, you don't have to worry about a generator. You've got the batteries to run off of.
How much does a generator cost?
A lot less.
And how often does your power go out?
Then you've got to have,
yeah, that's a good point, D. That's a good
years.
point. A battery. Never thought of that, really.
Well, a generator, it sounds like Tom told us that the generator will cost less, and a generator really has an indefinite lifespan, especially since his power doesn't go out very often.
Well, the only thing that I'm trying to figure out is with a generator, you've got the pain in the butt of having to fill it up with fuel. You've got the noise.
Wait a minute, man.
And then
wait a minute. You have to fill it up with fuel only when you use it.
Right.
So
well, hell, if you have a diesel generator, or propane or whatever you have, it would last you forever. I mean, if you have a power outage of an hour, or 2 hours, or 3 hours, that takes nothing of fuel. I would definitely go with a generator over $1,000 a year battery.
No, $1,000 a month. Oh, a year.
No,
okay.
A year.
No, it's $1,000 a year, so it comes out to about $85 a month. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I was going to buy one, and then I thought, well, wait, if I buy a generator, and even after I pay an electrician to get it hooked up to where it can power my whole house, it's not going to be $10,000.
But there are benefits, though. There are other benefits we may be overlooking to batteries. So I'm going to ask Brooke from Red Rocks. So, Brooke, he is considering the Tesla Powerwall. He says his net expense amortizes approximately to about $1,000 a year. That's a lot of money because he has to replace those eventually. So it's about $1,000 a year. And then I said maybe Brooke has ideas for other battery backup systems that last longer. Or what about the generator? I love the idea of a generator. Brooke, is there a benefit of having a battery over a generator?
The fuel source. So if you have a generator and it's connected to gas or propane or whatnot, then you're still paying for the fuel source.
Well, sure.
Whereas a battery, your fuel source, which is the sun, is already handled. So that's an expense that folks don't necessarily consider. And then Colorado right now, the state has a tax credit for batteries, so 10% of the batteries is covered through that. And then the other 30% is covered through the normal federal tax credits that are still viable. Who's your utility company that you have?
XL. They've got a $4,500, well, a $4,000 up front, and then a $500 over 5 years. So it's $4,500 from XL. But even after those things, you're still looking at $10,000.
I'm so sorry. So it actually depends on where you're at within Excel. So Excel's rebate, are you retired or are you working?
Working.
Okay. So the only reason I ask is retired folks get $6,000 per battery. You get $5,700. So I'm not sure who told you but it's actually $5,700 with the Tesla because it's depending on the continuous output of your battery. So each battery has a different value. So for Tesla, it's about $5,700 plus those other tax credits. I think you should be out of pocket. Give me one moment. Let me look up the numbers real quick. And then, are you looking at one battery to do like a sub panel with just critical loads, or are you looking to do like a whole home backup?
I was looking at the Powerwall 3 plus an extender pack.
Okay, sure. And I guess my question is, are you wanting just immediate loads, or are you looking for everything?
Everything.
So you would need 2 batteries for that. So to do 2 Tesla batteries, with the benefits that Excel does, give me 1 second. Let me just run these numbers real quick.
Sure.
You're looking at being out of pocket about $10,000 for the whole project.
That's what that's exactly what he figured. That's exactly what he figured. But if it has a 10-year lifespan, we're down to $1,000 a year. So here's what I'm saying. You can buy a lot of diesel for $1,000 a year, Brooke.
You can, but a whole home generator to do the same thing is like $30,000. If he's trying to back up his whole house.
And you don't get any rebate on that?
So you don't get any rebates on the generator.
Okay, that's a good point.
If he's trying just to back up critical loads, and do a smaller thing, then a generator, you could probably buy one for $5,000 or something and go through it. So again, it just depends on what you're looking to have done.
Okay. That's good information. Do you have, Brooke, batteries that are cheaper than the Tesla ones that are just as good?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it depends on what you're looking for. We've got off-grid batteries or on-grid.
But let's talk about this particular one. Do you have a generic substitute for Tesla to do exactly what he wants to do that would be less than $10,000 out of pocket?
Yeah, so quick question for you. Are you looking for something that can give you a lot of power right away, or are you looking for a little bit of power for a long time?
Well, just to handle my whole house for
if the power. He's talking about if the power goes out or he has a cloudy day.
I totally get that. So some folks run like welding machines or other stuff. They want backed up. That's just why I was asking. So if they want a lot of power really quickly, Solar Edge is better, and you're looking at about, instead of $10,000 out of pocket, probably $4,000 out of pocket. So it's a significantly cheaper product, but it doesn't last as long. Your Tesla batteries are like a slower roll, so they're going to last longer, but they're going to power your house more evenly too.
So is Tesla the best?
On the Tesla battery?
I'm sorry. Go,
Tom. If you don't need the power really quickly, yes, Tesla's the best battery on the market. The amperage, like how fast you can get that power, is a lot slower. So if you need a big kick right away, which some folks need, then Solar Edge is a better battery.
The biggest kick I would need is my AC unit starting up.
Yeah, Tesla would be totally fine with that.
But would you?
That's not a problem with that.
Okay, so when we talk about battery backup, do you recommend them, Brooke?
Do I recommend Teslas? Yeah, that's all we install for battery backup if they're on or off grid. It's very rare that we don't use Tesla.
Okay. And do you ever have clients that go instead with generators? Yeah,
I mean, we have clients that do a combination of them. So I've got a client right now that we're doing batteries and a generator, so he can kind of have the best of both worlds depending on what's going on. I have clients that use a small generator to power the battery so they don't get an extra battery. There's a lot of ways that you can put a backup system together.
And then one other question. How hard and fast is that 10-year lifespan on the Tesla Powerwall?
I mean, it's just the warranty for it. So it's new. The Tesla Powerwall 3 just went on the market last year. My guess is the battery will probably last 15 to 20 years, in my opinion. Because usually it's a couple years after warranty that it's still kicking
Brooke,
for.
that's what I was thinking, because a battery is a battery is a battery, and the newer batteries are way better. And unless you have constant drain and refill, I think it would last longer. So
Yeah, it's a great option, especially if you're looking at spending $30,000 on a generator versus 10 out of pocket. You know.
Thank you. I got to take a break, and that's Brooke from Red Rocks Roof and Solar, redrocksrs.com, 303-704-2449. Tom, thank you for stirring that discussion. It's very, very thought-provoking. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, and I want to remind you that GenesisTotalExteriors.com is there for you. We're going to learn about something else they do right after this.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino. Now, Dan Kaplis today at 4, 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
Now, certainly improving road conditions, main thoroughfares anyway, highways, they're pretty wet and sloppy. It's going to be a little slushy and certainly icy on bridges and ramps. It's those service route side streets that are still snow-covered and very treacherous driving conditions. Haven't had a lot of problems, though. That's the good news. The volume extremely light, but the delays we are experiencing are heading west, especially down Floyd Hill into US 6 Idaho Springs, and from there they had the I-70 drive westbound closed at the tunnels there for quite a while. Big backup. It's been about 2 hours from Highway 40 up to the Eisenhower Tunnel. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Buzz Knight, host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Step with us into the world of music. I bring you up-close conversations with new and legendary musicians. For one of the best music interview podcasts, listen to Taking a Walk on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Genesis Total Exteriors. We talked to Marc earlier on all of the projects they can do, everything from the roof and siding and gutters and fencing and decks and bathrooms, kitchens, basements. Here's something else they do, and they do it honestly. Mold detection, identification, and remediation. Depending on the type of mold, maybe different kinds of remediation. But one thing is for sure, you take away the food source, you seal it up, or cut it out. And if you want an honest assessment, Genesis Total Exteriors. They're not going to rip you off like a lot of these other people in the business. GenesisTotalExteriors.com, 303-679-8509.
Workers.
Do 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 do. I'm listening to something. If you hear it, it's me.
We can just hear you singing, and that's it.
Yep, that's the caliber. Yeah, that's the caliber. All right, let me take it home so I can fix it. What is that noise? Let me check the car. Oh, I think it's the transmission. Yeah, I think it's the transmission. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to call him. I'm gonna have to call my mechanic. Hey, Esteban. Sí, mira. What is that noise? What to do when you hear noises while driving your car?
Get under here.
Hold on, what the fuck is that? Actually, though? Actually. Fuck me. Seriously, fuck me. I need a new car. I have to call an Uber now. I told my dad to give me a fucking Tesla. He ain't listen. I hope you're happy, Dad. You're useless. I swear, you're useless. I don't need you.
These are different generations dealing with car problems.
Okay.
They all had a different approach.
Sure.
One knew exactly what was going on. I'm going to take it home and fix it. The other one has to call his mechanic. The other one went to AI. And then the other one said, I'm fucked. I need a new car.
There's definitely a difference in generations with problem solving here. Gen Z is freak out first and then solve problem later.
Oh, I got my daily text from Monty.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hey Tom, if there's ever a lull during the show, I have a list of car questions for Kevin that I think might be interesting to people.
Good. Let's present them.
Yeah, they're like stump the expert questions.
Okay.
Can I call a friend?
Yes.
No, I heard you with John yesterday. That was funny.
Oh yeah, thanks. That's my plan. Is for all of our experts.
Yep.
I'm gonna have a prepared, just like today. I'm gonna have a prepared list of questions for them because it is kind of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not to mention, I learn a ton.
Hey Mark, how's the camera angle? Is it better? Mark. Hey Tom, how's the camera angle? Is that better?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Well, it is better, but if you look at the frame, and I'm not complaining, I'm just observing, there's just nothing is ever centered. There's always way more room if you look at screen right. There's just way more room than there needs to be, and that would be Dimitri's over Dimitri's back. There's just no reason for it. Now, that doesn't mean the other side has anything more compelling either, so it's really 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. It's just not centered. It just looks off-centered. But, again...
Okay. I can try to screw with it.
Well, no, I mean, all I would do is... You know what I mean by center. You know what I mean by center, right?
Find out what your case is worth.
It's not a difficult concept when you're not drinking mimosas. Hi, Tom Martino. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. All right, so our discussion today has been a little bit of everything. Well, not everything, but we've been talking about solar systems, battery backups, generators. One guy says, look, I disagree with Brooke. The generators are great. You can get a small generator, run your whole house. You don't even need an electrician. Well, I don't know about that. I would be very careful about that. Obviously, if you're handy, you may not need one. But if you're going into the grid, I think you need a permit. But we're also talking about EVs. I mean, are EVs truly going to take over? And when? I mean, we have government mandates. And while, Trump says, drill, baby, drill, I love that. Since I have a lot of vacant royalty land, a lot of it, thousands of acres. I would love nothing more than for them to drill. I don't think we necessarily need to drill for cars. There's petroleum products. Oil is used for so many things that if you looked at a typical room or downtown and took away oil products, you would be shocked. I mean, shocked at what would be missing. 303-713-TALK is our number. Now, so EVs, Teslas, are they truly out ahead? One thing I want to say about Teslas, and they may have changed now. My son, I got him a little Model 3. And one thing I want to say about it, the quality, the finish and trim is not great. I don't know if you've noticed that, Kevin, or if you have ever looked Deputy D. And look,
the lines aren't very straight. Yeah,
Mark loves his Model S, but if you look closely at that interior, it doesn't compare to a Mercedes. Doesn't even come close to a Beamer or a Mercedes. Not even close. Now maybe the new ones do, but that disappointed me when I saw when I was looking at a Plaid when Mark was looking at his S, and I decided not to go with the Plaid. But when I looked closely at it, I was shocked, and I'm talking about knobs and levers and trim and stitching. I was shocked at the lack of detail and quality. And some of these knobs, they break and crack and they're brittle. I mean, I just think the quality of components in the older ones, when I say older, I'm talking about just a few years ago, it's not there. Did the interior change at all? You know, when you talk about interiors, okay, it's hard to beat a Beamer or a Mercedes interior. It's hard. And when we say Mercedes, we're talking about a lot and Beamer a lot because they both have Maybach and Rolls-Royce behind them. Those are beautiful, beautiful finish and trims or fit and trim. And when you're talking about another American-made, do you know who has the best American-made trim cars in the world, in my opinion? Who would you think I'm going to say, Kev? Who do you think?
I thought you were going to go Cadillac or Lincoln.
Well, that would be an obvious choice.
That was about to say
the best
Lincoln.
trim in the world that I've seen is a Corvette.
Yep. Yeah, they're definitely up there.
You look at that fit, that finish, that trim, that interior, man, you don't, oh my God. I mean, now that, and to be, I don't mean to slight American workers, but it looks like it's German manufacturing or something. Or look, I think Japanese cars.
Hey, I have to, no, hold on, Tom. I have to chime in here.
Go ahead.
I said Chevrolet. And you said Corvette. Isn't that made by Chevrolet?
Yeah. It is. It's almost
Kevin,
like it's almost like a separate
something
company.
about cars.
It really is almost. Yep. It's almost like
I do
a separate
know something
company.
about cars.
Yeah. Well, you knew that.
Oh my gosh! I'm just happy I knew about cars.
Yes, you knew that Chevy made the Corvette, and that is amazing to me. That's like, you know.
But I said that before you even said the Corvette.
Yeah, but Chevy in general is not good. When I said trim and you said Chevy and I said Corvette, they're worlds apart. You have some crap Chevy trim and you have some really nice Chevy trim. And let's talk General Motors. You have the same. Cadillacs are nice. They're nice. A lot of the Cadillac and the Corvette stylings, they share engineers and stuff. But it's a really new world out there when it comes to cars, because now you're not only looking at making things beautiful, but making them efficient, light. And again, I want to hear from people who are going to buy their next car and it's going to be an EV, or who will go down fighting and never get an EV. They figure, I'm at the point of my life right now. Like, for example, if you're 40, do you think you can go the rest of your life with new cars if you want them? Like however many new cars you get every 3 or 4 or 5 years. Can you go the rest of your life at 40 with today's marketplace and buy new cars and have gasoline cars until you die? What do you think, Kev?
Yeah, I think it's going to be more generational than anything. I think, as you're going through, I'm starting to go through. I just don't drive as much anymore.
If you
so the EV makes a whole lot more sense.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes more sense at this time of my life than it would have 20 years ago.
Take 85 years old and then minus 40 if you're 40 years old. So let's say you have 45 more years, and maybe you won't drive the last 5. Who knows? I mean, maybe you will. But so let's say you're going to drive the whole 45. And let's say you change cars every, let's just say 4 years. So you have 11 cars. Do you think you can go at 40 years old right now today, 11 more new cars and make them all gasoline? I don't mean 11 in the next 2 years. I mean over the next.
Sure, over a period.
Yeah.
Whether it's EV or something that's going to replace EV, I definitely.
I don't think you can.
I don't think so either.
I think there's going to be a time when when a gasoline vehicle is going to be like wearing a genuine fur to the Oscars.
There you go. That's a good analogy. Yep.
It's going to be looked at not just out of vogue and out of style, but it's going to be shunned. 303-713-8255.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
Now, certainly improving road conditions, main thoroughfares anyway, highways, they're pretty wet and sloppy, going to be a little slushy and certainly icy on bridges and ranches. Those surface route side streets that are still snow-covered and very treacherous driving conditions. Haven't had a lot of problems, though. That's the good news. The volume extremely light, but the delays we are experiencing are heading west, especially down Floyd Hill into US 6 Idaho Springs, and from there they had the I-70 drive westbound closed at the tunnels there for quite a while. Big backup. It's been about 2 hours from Highway 40 up to the Eisenhower Tunnel. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
This week on Red Pilled America, we tell the story of the LA wildfires and uncover who's to blame. Listen to Red Pilled America on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show for America First patriots.
You know, why am I hitting Genesis so much today? Because you need to get on the schedule. You see, right now, we're definitely in winter, right? But it's amazing how fast spring comes. And you got to start thinking ahead to your projects, especially if you're coming up on a year of storm damage and you haven't put a claim in. You've lost your rights if you wait. So contact Genesis. They can put all of your storm damage on one invoice, one point of contact, or you may just want to do some home improvements or mold detection and remediation, whatever it is. Genesis Total Exteriors, and I should say interiors too. Genesis, 303-679-8509. Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney. Every time I talk about Joe, I'll inevitably get a text here or there saying, why? So you think people should get away with drinking and driving? Or what about somebody who beats up their neighbor? And, so that means everyone who's arrested should simply be guilty. Of course not. That's not the way it is in this country, thank God, because, and Joe Lazzara will tenaciously defend you. But here's the most important part. He'll give you free legal advice up front, free of charge. He'll evaluate your case and then do a flat rate price if you want to hire him. So free advice, flat rates, no nickel and diming. Joe Lazzara, don't shop under pressure. I've done the shopping for you. 303-429-6200, 429-6200.
Weren't you outside already today? Didn't you know there was snow? You had to open up the window in here to be sure?
Huh?
Drunk. Huh? Kelly opened up the window and she's like, there's snow outside.
Yeah.
Well, yes. You came.
Somebody
here
ought
and
to
there
tell
was
her it's
snow
also
outside.
February.
Yeah.
What color did you get?
I got the just regular monogram.
Cool.
Model, about 2200.
Yeah. You don't want to be too showy. Yeah. I don't ever use lids. No. I already told her I don't use lids. Yeah.
Wow, it didn't work for me.
Oh.
No, I didn't say it that way.
No, it drives my girlfriend crazy. I'll take a cup, take it with me, no lid. You get it fast. Like,
no.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Let me hold it. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Tell me after I spill it.
Yeah. No, I hate drinking through those.
I do too.
Yeah.
I use them only here. In the car, I don't use lids either.
No, kids gave me a mug, a thermal mug for Christmas one year, and I started using it, and I kind of like it. You don't have to go through cups as much, and holds a little bit more, and it's still warm after a couple hours, 2, 3, 4 hours.
Yeah, I really like mine. I have a stainless insulated mug.
That's what mine's stainless, yeah.
I can just put it in the dishwasher every time, get it cleaned and sanitized.
That's the other thing that drives her crazy. I never clean my coffee cup.
Oh, my God. It's like a biology experiment.
Hey, listen, I got this text I can't read on the air.
Yeah, I'll rinse it out. But,
hey,
you know.
Kev.
It's going to be sanitized.
Kev, Dimitri.
When I bought my dishwasher,
I'm trying to get their
did all this
attention.
research on dishwashers that have a sanitizing feature.
Come on, guys.
Raised a certain temperature
Nobody's
hold
paying
it for a
attention.
certain
Tell them
period.
I'm number one priority. Hey, guys.
Programmed it. Hey, guys. Turn it on by default.
Yeah. So, I mean, even.
Put them. Tell them.
There we go. All right, cool. Go for it.
Hey, guys. You got to remember
Hey,
I'm here
yep.
too. You got to listen to me now and then. Listen, I got a text and it says, "Did you know? I just found something out. Pigeons die after they have sex." Did you know that, guys?
I'd never had heard that.
And I told him that, and he says, "Well, at least the one I did died." Oh God. That's crazy. And that was from our crazy JR. So he says, "Did you know pigeons die after having sex?" And I said, "What?" He said, "At least the one I screwed did."
Oh, God.
Yep.
Show's definitely taking a turn.
Oh, I couldn't hear any of it for some reason.
You didn't hear the joke?
You got to hit offline.
I'm offline.
He did hit. He is on offline. Can you not hear Tom?
No.
That's
No,
weird.
I can't hear
Who
Tom.
can't hear me?
Can you hear
It
me?
says offline.
Dimitri says he can't hear you. Is the volume way down or something?
You're in offline and you can't. No, yeah, you're up and on.
Oh, no, my connector kind of... I have to push it in place every few minutes.
Don't worry, you didn't touch any buttons.
No, I've just been playing with this connector, and the connector is fine, but the jack is jacked up.
I blame Kelly.
Yep. All my fault.
Maybe Tom touched the button.
Yeah, I didn't touch anything.
Tom doesn't touch any buttons. Tom doesn't touch any
But I
buttons.
do have a dinger that works.
Now
I have a
can,
dinger
yeah.
that actually works.
10 seconds. At your age?
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hey, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. So, Dimitri, give me one of those questions that you've dug up from a listener.
Okay, actually, I dug these out from the deep, dark, sick recess of my own mind.
Okay, go ahead.
But,
are you a listener? Are you a listener? Of course you are.
Oh, yeah.
So it's from
I'm
a
listening
listener
right now as we speak.
All right, go ahead.
So, do you want to ask the expert or stump the mechanic? Which of those would you like?
Stump the mechanic. I'm going to try to.
Okay, so here it is, guys. So, I recently disconnected the battery on my car to do some service and keep from getting zapped. I then reconnected the battery and drove away. Now, when I approached the very first stop sign and stopped, the engine almost died. And I was looking at the tachometer, and it dropped well below its normal low idle of 600 into maybe a couple hundred, and almost died. Why?
Wow.
It had to relearn the idle. When you take the voltage away, it loses all its programming, so it actually learns your driving habits, and it can program to that.
No, wait a minute, Kevin. There's no way to preserve the settings when you disconnect the battery?
Sure, if you take the battery off, but you keep voltage applied to the system, but he was trying to keep voltage out of the system.
Now, Kevin is absolutely right. However, to take it one step further, what neglected maintenance does that reveal
ground
in my engine? Nope. Maintenance, not repair.
Throttle cleaning.
You're absolutely right. Mm-hmm. Throttle body cleaning.
Now, why?
Why, Kevin?
Because it uses vacuum. It creates a mini vacuum leak to raise the idle, and if you have too much carbon buildup, it's plugging the ports it uses to create the vacuum leak. And the throttle won't close all the way. There's a number of problems.
What would that have to do with disconnecting?
No, this was nothing. This was a second question onto the first.
Well, now the reason, Kevin, I believe that the reason that disconnecting the battery revealed that problem is as the throttle body got dirtier and dirtier over the years. The engine learned that, and it began to compensate for it. When I disconnected the battery, that learning went away. So it went back to factory defaults, and factory defaults are based on a clean, perfectly brand new throttle body.
Yep, absolutely right.
Cool.
Very cool. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Get your calls in. Now remember, you can call 303-713-TALK, 713-8255, or you can call 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466. More on the Troubleshooter Show right after this.
That's awesome. I love the stump the expert.
So, Tom, you have to tell Dimitri the pigeon joke. He didn't hear it.
Oh, I got a text, and the guy said, did you know pigeons die after having sex? And I said,
I called baloney on that one.
And then he said, at least the one I screwed did.
Oh, God.
I thought it was chickens.
Oh,
it could be chicken if you want, yeah. Turkey, whatever your fancy.
That's sick.
Am I the only one who caught, like, when Tom was saying, Tom was looking at his car, at new cars, and Mark was looking at his ass? Am I the only one that heard that?
All right, I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves.
He's always talking.
I'm proclaimed.
Mark is always talking about his ass, too. He loves his ass.
Once the lag is over, I can tell you how you're doing on that. Well, the delay's got it right now, so it's got to wait for it. Yep, I see. I think it's right back where it started. I know. You're right. You're right. No, like you said, there's nothing like compelling to look at over here anyway. So, no, you're fine. Because it's so minuscule, the amount you're gonna have to move it. I wouldn't worry about it. Sure.
protect the topic from potential threats by the White House to cut DEI-related curriculum. House Assistant Majority Leader Jennifer Bacon.
School districts are taking votes on if we can see the terms Black Lives Matter, for instance. School districts are questioning if they should teach African American history.
The bill passed the House Education Committee on a party line vote and next goes to the House Appropriations Committee. A woman is dead after a standoff in Adams County yesterday. The woman barricaded herself inside an outbuilding on the property and shot a deputy when SWAT team members tried to get inside. Gunshots were heard a few minutes later, and the woman was later found dead inside the building. Preliminary reports indicate she may have died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. The sheriff's office says the wounded deputy is expected to recover. That's the latest on Chat Hour. Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast. Yeah, city traffic doing very well for us. Of course, off the freeway system, we still got some pretty covered roadways, side streets in particular, and bridges and ramps. So be a little tricky also. Main thoroughfares here are good, and light volume anyway. A lot of splashbacks. It is wet, sloppy, slippery stuff. Bridges and ramps can be a little tough. Still seeing delays coming down Floyd Hill West to US 6, and got about a 2-hour drive from Highway 40 to Empire Junction up to the Eisenhower Tunnel. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Buzz Knight, host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Step with us into the world of music. I bring you up-close conversations with new and legendary musicians. For one of the best music interview podcasts, listen to Taking a Walk on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt?
I owe the IRS $37,000.
Get ready for a toll-free hotline. Take advantage of new IRS tax forgiveness programs that may protect you from IRS collection agencies. They have the power to garnish your wages, put liens on your property, and levy your bank account. Civic Tax Relief can help protect you from the IRS.
Okay, I'm back.
We missed you.
I gotta. Never mind.
Kevin bought me a purse.
Kevin's what?
He bought me a purse.
Isn't that nice? What the hell's that all about?
Yeah.
You figured instead of pizza, we'll just get a purse.
Yeah.
Don't start with
I
P.
had his credit card, so I just decided to buy a purse. It was only $2,200.
Oh.
Not a lot.
If we can sneak it by the accountant, you're okay.
10 seconds.
Money. That's money. Enter it now at khow.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
I'm Tom Martino, and I am doing the show that no one else has ever done. And that's a show about your pains in the ass and your pains in the neck and your pains in the back and your pains in the wallet. And we try to make those pains go away or prevent them. How about that? We do this show each and every day, talk to hundreds of thousands of consumers. That's right. And recovered millions in cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. No one can lay claim to that. No one can lay claim to that. And we're proud of it because we love helping people. Is Deputy Bo around? Because what he did yesterday, I know we've been talking about it a lot, but it actually happened yesterday. So get Bo on the line. I want to hear about it. I mean, this guy went the extra mile. I mean, when we talk about recovering money and saving and, how do we put a barometer on things, right? Well, it's easy. For example, if somebody bought a car and they get a refund, it's the amount of that, right? If somebody has a roof and they weren't doing the roof and it was a $60,000 roof and we get them to finish, we count that. And, that's why I say it's basically refunds and cash back. And so I say, hey, we recovered hundreds of thousands of dollars of cash, merchandise, exchanges, refunds, and services. So it's really a barometer. It's not a literal dollar amount necessarily in every case. So what Deputy Bo did, though, I want to talk about coming up. So we were playing Stump the Mechanic and also Stump the what, D, you called it? Because I want
yesterday was Stump the Lawyer, and today was Stump the Mechanic.
Okay, now, I want you to also, did you already play Stump the Lawyer? Did you stump him at all?
Oh, that was yesterday.
I
had a list
stump
of 10 stumpers for him.
I want you to give me some.
John Fuller.
I want you to give me some of those.
Oh, okay. Give me a minute. I need to grab my notes from yesterday's
but first,
show.
We can go with an auto one right now since we're on the air live.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, people, you can call in at any time, 303-MARTINO, 303-627-8466 or 303-713-TALK. Oh, and let me remind you about the texting. A lot of people do text me. So, 747-999-5280, 747-999-5280. You can text me there about anything. Anything at all, any consumer problem, question, complaint about the show, feedback, constructive feedback, or if you need information on financial advisement, my wealth management company, and you want to schedule a call or a talk about managing your investments the right way and not being taken advantage of, you can text me there. You don't have to be a client. If you have any questions on finance before you make a mistake, 747-999-5280. And let's talk then. Go ahead. I want to hear the first or the second question for Stump the Mechanic.
Okay, this isn't, so I'm going to mix it up. This isn't Stump the Mechanic. This is just general knowledge transfer from Kevin to the rest of us. Kevin, it is my opinion that one of the most neglected services, if not the most neglected service, is coolant change. Can you tell us if that's actually important to do, and if so, why?
Well, first, let me ask him this. Let me ask him this first. Kevin, is it one of the most neglected services?
I think it's up there because of the manufacturers continually say you have lifetime antifreeze or lifetime oils and things like that. It's just not true because it builds up acids and things inside the coolant as it breaks down. There's lubricants that break down. It's just the benefit far outweighs the cost to just get your fluids flushed, every 3 to 5 years, depending on the vehicle, depending on miles. It's not that big a deal, but yeah, it has to be done. It is a challenge.
And what are some of the things that could happen to your automobile if you just never ever change the coolant?
Well, again, there's acids and the pH changes and stuff that happen, and then the lubricants that are in there to lubricate your water pump and seals and everything in the coolant. You can start having contaminations and corrosion and other properties that are in the antifreeze. That's what its benefit is anti-corrosion and lubricants. They break down.
And Kevin, one of the Toyota mechanics I recently discussed this with said that a lot of the head gasket failures in certain Toyota engines are due to neglected coolant maintenance because it becomes so corrosive it actually eats through the head gasket.
It eats through the gaskets.
And Kevin, what does a head gasket project cost on a 4Runner?
Yeah, it's
$3,000?
$3,000 to $5,000 depending on what it needs and all when you're in there. Yeah,
so it's cheap insurance.
It's not worth it. I don't know why people believe the lifetime and extended 100,000 mile antifreeze.
The same with extended oil changes. Now, granted, we don't have to do 3,000 miles anymore with the new oils and stuff, but you certainly should never go beyond 10 ever.
No, I absolutely not. That's the unless you're all highway, you can go up to 10.
I do 10.
If you're mixed, I think 7,500.
Every 10,000 miles, I go in for service, and that's what the book says for my car. Every 10,000 miles. So I've actually only had it in for 3 services. Think about that. That's pretty damn cool, every 10,000 miles. You don't think that's going too far, do you?
No, I think that's pushing the limit because we're seeing a lot of vehicles in the 70 to 80,000 mile with sludge. And it's built up from oils breaking down. That's the only thing that causes sludge. So, again, the benefit of extending it just isn't there, not for the cost of an oil change or a coolant flush.
And Tom, Kevin, doesn't oil sludge, I think a lot of people don't understand that oil sludge, though it sounds kind of icky, actually leads to engine failure, like complete engine failure.
Can't get it out of the
Toyota had a big problem with that, didn't they, Kev, at one time? Didn't they even have a recall?
Volkswagen was the one that was brutal. Yeah, they sludge up so heavy in there, you'll never get it out. You can change your oil once a week for a year; it's still in there.
Yeah, this happened to my friend's Kia just about a year and a half ago, and that was an infamous recall they did, and they swapped out her engine for free.
Why?
But it was sludged up.
Why do Japanese cars, or did Japanese cars, have more of a problem with sludge than other cars? Why?
I think it's just the service intervals. There's no, the heat and everything, it all accumulates. So everybody's trying to push the window on oil changes. Again, I don't understand the benefit. Save $100 and it costs you $3,000. It's silly.
Okay, 303.
But that's the bottom line. Yeah.
303-713-TALK. I have a text here, and it says, if you have a small leak in your cooling system, is it acceptable to put in these stop leaks they sell? They claim they're permanent.
Oof. No.
You don't like that?
No, just simply no. No, they're indiscriminate. It doesn't know a leak from a small capillary in a radiator or your heater core.
So it can clog up your system.
So it'll plug everything. Plugs everything. Yeah, it doesn't know what it's plugging. Yeah.
I never trust.
Yeah, get the leak fixed.
I never trust any of those that say they're permanent. Like even like a Fix-A-Flat. Although I don't think Fix-A-Flat ever claims it's.
Well, and it's not detrimental to the tire. It's getting you to the next place to get it fixed.
Speaking of, since we're on
the stop
cars,
leak is
we've been
detrimental.
talking EVs, we've been talking cars, we've been talking Stump the Mechanic. Here's something I want to put out there. In all of these years, they haven't improved on the tire. I mean, obviously, they've improved on the compounds and the treads and all that, but it's still air and a cylinder, and I think it's stupid. First of all, why can't they be square? I'm just kidding. No, but on a tire, here's the main deal. Here's what I'm thinking. I saw, if you can picture what a honeycomb looks like, a honeycomb, all the little cells. I saw a profile of a tire one time that was thousands of these cells. It was all made of rubber and no air. In other words, the cells made up the cushion instead of air. Now, obviously, there's naturally occurring air in the cells, between the cells, but it wasn't pressurized air. And then it was all wrapped in a steel-belted radial. Now, think about this. You would never have air. You would never leak, ever. Think about it. What do you guys think?
No, I think it's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you see a lot of that on bicycle tires, too.
Why don't they do any of that? Why? I mean, it would still wear out because you have the outer, you have the tread that will wear out. But you don't have air ever to worry about, ever. A nail would do nothing to that. Why don't people ever look at stuff?
It's sort of like it's like a hybrid run flat, basically, is what it is. But I'm sure they're working on it. I think it's just not cost effective.
What's inside of a run flat?
It's just thicker sidewalls and everything else that go with it. They're impossible to get them off the rims because there's no flex to them. It's just a lot thicker sidewall.
But is it okay? That's all it is.
Basically, yeah. It's oversimplified, but it's just more of a solid tire.
Okay. Well,
so that technology coming. That's what's coming. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a quick Stump the Lawyer question for me?
Sure. The one I was most interested in is, would John Fuller recommend that people who install dash cam cameras like I did deactivate the audio recording feature like I did? That was an interesting question. Because, and the reason is that audio might provide evidence that's contrary to my best interest in an accident.
Yeah, but so could video. So could video, though, really.
No, the forward-looking video doesn't record me talking on the phone.
Oh.
Or looking for a particular address in a building, or eating soup or shaving or something, and so it could be that the opposing side could make an argument that, hey, if I didn't cause the accident, I at least contributed to it because I wasn't able to react quickly enough because I was yammering on the phone.
See, that's a weird kind of question. That's not really a stump, but what's your opinion kind of thing. I would say if you're going to have video, I don't think you need the audio. I mean, really, well, why would you need it?
That's exactly my point. Yeah, I just want to record who's at fault.
Right.
I don't want to create even more questions about my reaction time if I was looking at an address or talking.
That's a good question, though. Has video or has audio ever been used in a video dash cam? In fact, I'd like to talk to anyone, one person. We've never had a case where someone's called and said, thank God I had a dash cam, here's why. Kev, have you ever had a dash cam brought up for service of any kind?
No. But, we have cameras all over the shop, so it's, we're not in the cars, though.
Anyway, we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Remember, you get market valuations of your home. People think it's a drive-by. Oh, he's just going to tell me what he thinks it's worth. And he really goes much further. He takes the house, actually takes photographs. He takes the comparables in the neighborhood and then comparable neighborhoods and then what has been sold. He also does supply and demand, interest rates, and what the market's doing, and gives you an absolute indication, a great, accurate indication of what your house will sell for, what you will net, and what you can afford. 303-920-1622. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com.
Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now Taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is Taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guarantee details at turbotax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
I've been having such great feedback about Discount Bath. People say, Tom, it's for real, man. I went out and got an estimate, and then Discount Bath gave me one, and I'm saving like a third. And it's quality, great stuff. Another person said, I have a fix and flip. I thought it was going to be expensive. I really did want a discount, and I got one. DiscountBath.com. What they like and what I love is that you can get a price from Chris and his team without them coming to your home. Now, they will come to your home eventually if you want them to and do all the detailed diagrams and stuff, but you send them a video from your smartphone. Just go out and talk and say, hey, I want to move this sink or I want to expand this. What do you think? I want to put in a walk-in shower. I want to do this. I want to do that. Do it in the hallway or in the master or downstairs in the basement where there's a rough-in, whatever you want. And then they will give you a price. DiscountBath.com is where it all starts. DiscountBath.com. They won't bug you. Now, if you want to talk to them, you can. 720-979-2322. All right, I haven't forgotten my friends on Discord.
You have friends?
What is Discord?
I think it's some kind of a chat. I think it must be some chatting app for phones or something. I don't use that or the Instagram or none of that bullshit. I don't want the Chinese to get even more information about me.
They already have all the info they need on you.
But why should I feed them even more?
What are you going to give them?
Who knows?
If somebody wants to know what I'm doing Friday at 4 p.m., they can have it.
But here's the thing. If they can suck down images from your computer, they can also upload them.
No, that's true. No, there's, it's just like every other hack and every other,
Guys, I could tell you something that would frighten you on how I think my computer and my computer or smartphone is spying on me. And I'm going to tell you something that, well, I shouldn't even talk about it right now, but although...
they all do, Tom.
What, when you talk about something and then it shows up as a Google
something
search
worse,
for you?
Something worse, okay?
Yeah.
Let's put it... I'm going to give you a quick hint. Anyway, I'll give you a hint in a minute.
Let's hear it.
Well, some contacts I've been getting by email.
Uh-oh.
From people.
Is it about a $33 million fortune from a Nigerian prince?
Always. But yes, your phone is spying on you. If you just literally said the word out loud, Casa Bonita, you will get so.
You get advertisement for it. Exactly. Then different emails link different.
I'll text you about
together.
it. I'll text you two guys about it.
All right. I don't need to be any more paranoid than I'm already.
No, I'm going to text
though.
you, and you'll like.
Oh, great!
You'll be shocked.
Now they'll know I'm.
Now they'll know Dimitri.
Now they'll know I'm looking
You're gonna
this
connect
up.
the link.
Great.
Now I know where I stand.
This is
Dimitri's
disgusting
getting his full
on
hat out
so
to get
many
this text.
on so many fronts.
I don't want to get grossed out, Tom.
Well, he's leaving me out.
I mean,
so
like
it
a
must be
pigeon
pretty
joke,
gross.
that wasn't enough.
No, like Mark's football game story. That was more than enough for a lifetime for me.
I didn't hear that one.
You don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Oh my God, we actually convinced Michael to Google, what was it?
There, I just texted
Two girls,
you
one
guys.
cup.
Two girls,
My
one,
disc.
Oh, great.
one cup.
I told him not to.
Yes.
I told.
He
I
did.
said, Michael, if you ever listen to me about anything,
Yes.
do not Google two girls, one cup.
Yes,
And he did.
he did.
That was his own mistake.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
That's weird. That'd be a weird coincidence, wouldn't it?
Yeah, man. That's just.
Yep.
That's all the proof I need.
No, seriously, what does that tell you guys?
Yeah,
Well,
no, seriously.
yeah,
that's either really, really
that's
bizarre
disgusting.
coincidence or.
That's disgusting.
Oh!
That is really surprising.
That, I mean, you know, my doctors, nothing is coming from them.
Sure.
Or do you not even trust
Yeah,
that,
just-
Dimitri? Like as far as the health system.
I think they're pretty tight. Most
Oh no, they're not. I
You don't
mean,
think so?
if they can
is
break
very-
into a credit
Dimitri
reporting
is
agency,
Dimitri is very suspect of everything, and it listen, man,
Oh, it's-
he really is. Tom Martino, you're in Troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. Man, we have a lot going on here, and I like what Dimitri's doing. He's trying to stump us either with legal kind of things or car kind of things, and I like it. And do you have any more? And by the way, I want you to call if you have a problem, question, or complaint. I do have some texts I'll get to in a minute. They're just not all that compelling, but they're asking advice on cars. One guy said they are working on a tire that needs no air. Someone else said there is a version of that out already. But for some reason, airless tires have not become commercially viable. And I don't know why. Now, one thing a lot of the big trucks do in the RVs is they use molecules that are bigger than air so they don't slow leak as much. And I'm talking about nitrogen. Have you heard of that, Kev?
Oh yeah, and it's supposed to run a little cooler too, so the tire doesn't wear as long.
So,
but yeah, no,
where do you
nitrogen's
buy
been around for a
nitrogen?
while.
Where do you buy nitrogen?
Well, any discount tire has it.
No, really?
A lot of places.
Can you
yeah,
ask
most
that
tire
your
places
tires-
will have.
Now, what happens if you have
Yes.
nitrogen in your tires and you got to refill or you got to top them off and you don't have nitrogen? Can you mix air in it?
Yes, yeah, it's not going to hurt anything. But if you have a green cap on the valve stem, it's nitrogen.
So, what's the benefit of nitrogen? The molecules are bigger, right?
The molecules, and it runs a little cooler. It can dissipate heat better than the
Is it
standard
expensive
air,
compared
compressed
to
air.
well compared to air? Air is really other than paying for the compressor when you stop at a gas
Right.
station or something. I mean,
No, the nitrogen is just an apparatus that pulls it out of the air. It's nothing fancy.
wait a minute. So it's not like a gas you have to go buy in bulk. You can actually
No.
Wait, could I
You
get
can-
from my hangar? Could I get literally a little compressor that produces nitrogen?
Yes.
No, you can't. You can.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people with aircraft are going to nitrogen, and I'd like to put nitrogen in my helicopter tires. Ha ha ha! But then boom! Oh, I know some do. Some do have tires, but anyway. So let's talk about the next question. Go ahead.
Okay. Do you want the question or the stump the mechanic?
Whatever you want. Either one. You pick.
Okay. Let's do stump the mechanic. And Kevin, I apologize. This is going to be a weird one, but I think you'll figure it out pretty quickly.
Okay.
This actually happened to me when I was in high school. I had a pretty old car, like most high school students do. And I was getting intermittent battery connection failures. I could tell because the radio would go out, the lights would go out.
That's a ground.
So I removed. Well, it's not what you think.
Keep going.
You're going to be stumped too, Tom. I want to hear your answer first, actually. I removed the clamp from the battery post, and it fell off. The clamp fell off the cable. And when it fell off, a huge amount of blue and green crystals and powder just poured out of the insulation.
Yeah.
What happened?
Moisture, and the water evaporated, leaving behind the and it corroded it too as well, plus the metals in the water.
So what was the blue and green crystals?
Probably it's the corrosion from the copper cable.
From the copper, exactly.
Yeah, and I think...
But it's the battery acid that gets back up in the sheathing of the cable.
But my question is, how would that happen? If it's properly shielded, it never happened. And the way I shield it, I even go one step further, although I will say the newer cars now are like, gosh, dang it, you can't, they're airtight. But I used to do some heat shrink or some, this wrap they make now. Have you seen that wrap that fuses on itself?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kev,
there's all kinds of cool stuff. Yeah.
So for my aircraft stuff, I take that. I think it's called Teflon. I don't think it is Teflon though. Maybe it is, but it's this black stuff that looks like tape. It's the same on both sides. It's not really sticky. Well, it is kind of sticky, but it's tacky. That's what it is. And then what you do is you wrap it, and I wrap it right around the wires, right up to the terminals, right up to where where it's crimped, and then you and you squeeze your hands, like, you know what I mean, and it fuses. It literally becomes like one substance without any heat. So it's not even like a heat shrink. It just fuses on itself. You've seen that, right, Kev?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's great.
No, we use stuff like that, when electrical, we have a liquid duct tape or liquid electric tape, they call it.
So Dimitri,
you can really
are we right or wrong on this? Are we right or wrong?
You guys are absolutely correct. So what happened was the battery acid, I had an old crummy battery like many people do, and the battery acid was seeping out of the battery, and it was crawling up the cable through capillary action, and it was getting sucked in inside that insulation.
Yeah.
I actually had to cut away, I'm not kidding you, like 6 or 7 inches of my big, primary battery cable until I got to actual copper to repair this problem. Yeah.
And then you wrapped it properly after that, right? Or he shrunk it or something?
No, that was before I knew. I was 16. This was before I knew about heat shrink wrapping, and I just bought a new battery.
It's amazing how much, speaking of knowing, it's amazing. I was playing that YouTube video about how different people look at car problems. One sits behind the wheel and says, oh, that's my whatchamacallit, my caliper, or that's my this, or that's my that. And they say, I'll have to fix that. They get out, open up the hood, right? Next person says, oh, wait a minute, I got to call my mechanic. What the hell is that noise? So that's all right. So they call a mechanic. Next one says, these are progressively younger generations. Then the next one says, goes to AI. What does it mean when? Blah, 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 blah. The next one says, oh my God, I need a new car. So, this is falling apart around me.
I have a statement. I have a question for all of you.
Go ahead.
I'm assuming nobody has AAA.
I do.
Yeah.
Oh, in other words, why not just call AAA? You're right. Well,
correct.
That's a good point, Kelly. But if you call AAA,
well, I have a really good answer.
Go ahead.
Instead of calling AAA, I prefer to use my Y chromosome.
Your what?
Okay.
My Y chromosome.
First of all, I have a double X over here. And yes, I did ask Kevin why brakes need fluid. this morning. I will admit that. Apparently they do. Who knew?
Wait, if brakes have what?
I asked
Fluid.
Kevin if brakes needed fluid because my
not
kid's
a Model
car
T,
needed.
but I mean, okay, or a
Well, for
carriage
God's
with
sake,
horses.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I don't. There's so much fluid in cars. I mean, I get confused. That's an Adam question. I can make souffles.
And what are the
But
three?
anyway,
Hold on,
so
I got something. I got a casual, but a little trivia here. What are the three main purposes of fluid in a vehicle? What are they? What? Number one would be what? Lubrication, right?
Lubrication.
Gas.
Number two.
Gas to make it go.
Okay, that's okay. You're technically correct there. I guess you're right. Okay, so fuel, lubrication, and then I guess we could say coolant, cooling.
Coolant.
But what's the other
What the hell
ones?
does- what
Well,
is
now hold on.
coolant?
What are
I
the
don't
other
even know what
purposes?
coolant is.
What are the other purposes of fluids? One would be hydraulic
conditioning.
or pressure creating fluids.
No, air conditioning. Air conditioning.
That's
a
not
gas more than a fluid.
Yeah, but
Heating.
hydraulic fluids
The
would
radio.
create pressure. Radio.
Yep, for steering and
I don't
brakes.
know of any radios, and then steering that's hydraulic though technically.
No, well, I'm just saying. What does the radio? Okay, the radio doesn't
Kelly
work
thinks
off
the
of.
radio needs fluid.
Now wait a minute,
Oh,
Kelly.
my God.
Kelly.
All right,
I want you to hold on. Put your hand on your heart and tell me you honestly were wondering that.
No, I was saying if the car doesn't go, I can't have the radio. Thank God there's a caller.
But wait, what the hell does that have? So she wanted to know if the radio needed fluid. You know what? Here's the deal. There's a phenomenon.
Blinker fluid.
There's
Exactly.
a phenomenon called the turkey death that I hope she never experiences. But I'm coming to think that if she asked that question, maybe she could. And that's where it's raining and they look up at the rain and they don't close their mouths or cover their noses and they drown.
Poor thing will drown.
You've heard of that, right?
No,
That's why she
I'm
was
not,
scared when she looked outside and
okay.
saw the snow. It's like, oh no.
Okay, we're having a WKRP moment right now where Les, what was his name? Les
Nessman.
Les Nessman did the turkey thing and he dropped all the turkeys out when
Well,
the
no turkeys couldn't fly.
As God is my witness.
Yes.
I thought turkeys could fly. We got more coming right up on
Yes.
the Troubleshooter Show.
KHOW Denver, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. Download the free iHeart Radio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
Okay, we've got a problem coming through downtown along I-25 northbound. There's a crash at 20th. It looks like the left side of the highway is going to be blocked. It's already backed up to 6th Avenue. It's turning into a pretty solid jam through there. They'll more than likely block a couple of lanes there. Kind of keep to the right early, but add some time if you're coming through. Penn, still running a little heavy coming out of the airport back onto I-70. Wet road conditions, a little sloppy out here, and off the freeway system's going to be icy, if not snowpack, in a lot of areas. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Buzz Knight, host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Step with us into the world of music. I bring you up-close conversations with new and legendary musicians. For one of the best music interview podcasts, listen to Taking a Walk on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
TheArtOfGranite.com. That's the website and the number I'm going to give you because you'll get a price on the phone. You know, no matter what kind of countertop material, whether it's natural stone or man-made materials, you'll get a price because it's so easy for The Art of Granite. They do tear out and haul away free. They do wholesale on all materials for countertops. So they're just charging a markup for fabrication and installation. They're proud to give it to you. Beautiful countertops, and they can get them done quickly, and they'll give you a price on the phone. TheArtOfGranite.com, 303-386-5919, 386-5919.
No, ain't nobody there.
Oh, they already
They
hung
knew
up.
it was you. Said, screw it.
I have a great trivia question coming back.
So mean to me today.
So Kelly was under the impression that the radio would not work if the car did not have gas.
Oh.
So, yes. Kind of.
Everybody can go to hell, okay?
You just turn the battery on and
This
the radio
is my
will work.
most unfavorite
You know.
day of the week.
It'll still work with it, you know. as long as
Hey,
the battery's
just
charged.
remember, Kelly, when you get your brake shoes changed, make sure you do the socks too.
Listen, I already fell for that joke, all right? When Mark told me I needed to, I don't know, change
to break
whatever
shoes
it
and
was.
socks.
My God, I'm so stupid when it comes to that.
And
This is
why
why Adam
in God's
does this.
name would a car need pads? Are they maxi pads? Are they little pads? Are they?
Oh, jeez.
Thank you. I don't know, but I just paid $1,300 for them.
Just pick up the supers. It's fine.
I was pissed. Like, what the hell is a rotor? What the hell is that for?
Yeah.
I have a rotor on my helicopter, but
Well, but it's not on the wheels.
So why would your car need your car is a helicopter?
you know, every once in a while, my skids go flat. I gotta fill them up.
Oh my God, Kevin, please bail me out here.
Actually, my skids do have struts. 4 of them.
See, if Jeff were here, he would bail me out right now.
And you know, Kevin, those struts are nitrogen.
Probably not. You're probably right.
And do you know I've guess how many times in 10 years I've had to top off that nitrogen in my skid struts?
Twice.
Once. And do you know how you know when you have to top them off, Kev? Or Dimitri?
He stepped away. Well, I assume you feel a difference in performance.
Well, you know.
Yeah, your landings get a little harder.
Well, they could.
I would say softer.
But here's what's funny. No, they would get harder. Nitrogen is a big cushion. But here's what's funny. You do it by sight. You look at them, and there's a little sight gauge that is yellow, red, and green.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if it sinks down, it gets to the bottom, it would be red. If it's in the middle, or toward the bottom, it's yellow. And if it's in an acceptable zone, it's green.
So is it the work you're allowed to do yourself, or do you need a certified mechanic
you can
to
do
that kind of stuff?
No, that's something you can do yourself. That would be akin to filling tires.
Oh, okay. Cool.
But you know,
what does a spark plug cost?
What's that?
In your helicopter. What does a helicopter spark plug
I don't
cost?
have a spark plug because I have a jet, but it's a igniter. And
they're called igniters.
You don't even want to talk about the igniter. But I think an igniter might be $30,000 now, maybe more.
$1,000?
But you never change them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they time out. Actually, that's called a hot section you would do on your jet. And okay, when your jet engine can go for thousands and thousands of hours, way more than a gasoline engine. But a hot section on my Rolls-Royce engine. This is just the hot section, not the whole engine. The hot section would be about $185,000.
Oh my!
10 seconds.
I think that's what it is.
944.33. Troy Hansford with Remax Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions apply.
Hurt in a car crash? Get John Fuller on your side. Call Fuller.com. Hey, Tom Martino here, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. 713-8255. We've been having kind of fun with some trivia. I have a question. I have something, and here's the question, okay? And then I'm going to give you the answer. Or no, you give me the answer, Dimitri. This one is for you. What is the correct ignition timing on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch 4-barrel carburetor? Well, now, what are you laughing at,
Kelly's
Kev?
got this one.
Kevin, what are you laughing at?
No, he didn't hear the question. He just walked back in. Can you please repeat it for Kevin's benefit?
Okay.
That was me.
Okay. Here's the question, Kev.
And the dragon.
Here's the question. What is the correct ignition timing on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and a 4-barrel carburetor?
That's a BS question.
Hey, wait a minute. You recognize that, Kelly?
I did.
Like everybody recognized.
Wait, everyone recognize that?
Oh, yeah. And the correct answer is 4 degrees before top dead center.
No, the answer is Chevy didn't make a 327 and 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62.
My cousin Vinny. Yep.
And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with the 4-barrel carburetor till 64. However, the 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center. So there, go yourself. Okay. Anyway.
That was a funny
Okay,
movie.
let the record reflect. I
What movie
actually
was
got
that?
the question
Okay,
right.
Kelly, what movie?
My cousin Vinny.
Cousin Vinny. My cousin
But
Vinny.
Kelly,
but
did
let
you?
the record reflect.
I need to know this though. Did you really recognize it, or did Dragon tell you?
No, I recognized it.
I
for
love
sure.
that. Man, I love that movie.
That was funny.
He will chime in, but I will tell you. Okay.
I had such a crush on
I knew
her.
exactly
Go ahead.
what you were talking about, but I had no idea about cars before I actually watched that movie.
And then that
I
gave you the-
actually learned more about cars
Now, here's a guy
from that movie.
So here's a guy who says, I use nitrogen in all of my cars. Nothing better. I paid one-time fee of $5 a tire, and I get refills for life. Did you know that at Big O? Refills for life. And you pay $5. Wow. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Next question, Dimitri, go ahead.
Okay. Kevin, why should we change spark plugs, and what would happen if we don't?
Well, the change intervals are much, much longer with the newer engines because without the carburetors and the dumping of fuel and everything, they last a long time. But the outside, I mean, it'll start misfiring. I've seen it go as far as blowing up a computer because the coil driver in the computer gets overloaded because the gap of the plug gets too big from use. So, I mean, from one end, it's performance, another end, you can cause damage from running plugs too long.
I didn't realize you can actually cause damage.
Electrical damage, yes.
That's pretty scary.
Yeah, $1,700 computer driver inside the computer got wiped out because of the plug. The gap was too big.
Now, Kevin, that's got to be another one of the most neglected maintenance items on cars.
Well, again,
right?
it's not service intervals. Everybody thinks everything's maintenance free.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the plugs aren't too bad. I mean, you can go 75, 80,000 miles on a set of plugs, without any problem.
But they have these plugs, iridium-tipped plugs, and they advertise a service life of over 100,000 miles.
Sure.
Now, I should not take that at face value,
Well, you
right?
don't want to take anything to failure. So, yeah, they're talking 100,000 miles. You'll start experiencing failure, not just deterioration.
We got more coming up, but I have a question, and or not a question, but a theory and a philosophy, and something I've always done. Before I could afford new cars, and I would buy a used car, and then later on when I started buying used aircraft, I never cared about previous records. Well, I cared about it. I didn't want anything abused. I always got it checked out. But then I did, and Kevin and I have discussed this before, I call it zero timing the car or the engine or the aircraft. Now, what does that mean? Zero
baselining. Isn't it called baselining?
Yes.
Also?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Do you? And Dimitri, you seem like the type of person that would do that. So
yeah, when I got my beloved 4Runner, I spent about 3 weeks and a ton of money baselining it, completely baselining
anything
it.
it needed. And if there was a hesitation, for example, like on a timing belt that needs to be changed, not chains that don't have to be, but if something has to be changed, you change it and you know it's done. And you do all of the fluids, all of the belts, and all of the hoses. Is that what you're talking about?
I didn't do the hoses because they're in wonderful condition, but I changed 7 fluids, the spark plugs, the brake pads, and the associated springs and shims. And the biggest thing I did, I replaced literally the entire suspension with a brand new one. And I also swapped out both of the outer tie rod ends.
Well, that's
all with
if they're
OEM Toyota components.
So, Kevin, do you think used car dealers ever do that?
Before they sell the car?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, not even close. Most of them. They'll go through and hit the safety stuff. The good lots will.
Yeah.
But as far as zero maintenance, no. It's only as required.
Well, I have a question coming back, and it is, with no owner's manual, I mean, theoretically, no owner's manual. I know you can find one. what service would every car need? What would be apropos for all cars when you just get a car? If you have no service manual or no owner's manual, what can you rest assured that you would have to do, and on what periodical basis would you do it? Jay's got a question on Corvette 66 brakes. We'll do that coming back too. I'm Tom Martino.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
Okay, we've got a problem coming through downtown along I-25 northbound. There's a crash at 20th. It looks like the left side of the highway is going to be blocked. It's already backed up to 6th Avenue. It's turning into a pretty solid jam through there. They'll more than likely block a couple of lanes there. Kind of keep to the right early, but add some time if you're coming through. Pena's still running a little heavy coming out of the airport back onto I-70. Wet road conditions, a little sloppy out here, and off the freeway system's going to be icy, if not snow-packed, in a lot of areas. With traffic, I'm Jonathan Steele.
I'm Buzz Knight, host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Step with us into the world of music. I bring you up-close conversations with new and legendary musicians. For one of the best music interview podcasts, listen to Taking a Walk on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right. You know, Gravina's is a name a lot of people know from years ago. And there are some Gravinas around today for exteriors of your home. Windows, siding, doors, and the original Gravina, as I put it, the one who worked with Dad, broke off on his own, 950 West Evans, and now his son has taken over. The 3 generations of Gravinas, only at 950 West Evans, and they have been pleasing people for years, since the early 70s. Now, well, the one on 950 West Evans wasn't since then. He took that over. He started his own business in the 80s. But here's the bottom line about Gravina's: variety. That is important. Now, there's nothing wrong with selling a product if you believe in it, only one product, but isn't it nice to have alternatives? Because you might love this company, but not want the best of the best of the best. You may want something for a fix and flip or something else for in between. Here's what you do. You call Gravina's and you get choice and you get heritage and you get dependability and you get companies we know and love. 303-472-8462. That spells Gravina. Did you know that? 303-GRAVINA, Gravina, 303 Gravina. Joe Lazzara, Lazzara. I spell things so I know you're going to go on and you're going to do some searching. Joe Lazzara is a criminal defense attorney I've been representing for nearly 30 years. He does flat rate pricing after he does initial consultations free of charge. Isn't that great? So you never have to worry about the money up front. You talk to him about any problem you might have with a DUI or an assault charge or some other kind of craziness. And then what he does is he flat rate prices it for you and you're not nickeled and dimed. I love the way he does business, and you will too. Joe Lazzara, Lazzara, 303-429-6200.
It's a new year, Colorado. Don't spend it painting. Do what your neighbor Tom did. He called Rhino Shield.
Our house was built in 1986. The paint was starting to look a little worn. I need to get Rhino Shield.
Rhino Shield ceramic technology is specifically formulated for our unique climate right here in Colorado, and it's Class 1 fire rated.
The Rhino Shield crew was quite good. The people were top notch. I basically came home 2 days after they started it and it was done.
And right now, Colorado, you can get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield for 15% off the regular price.
even now when we're riding together, we come home like, man, that looks great. And we've had compliments from friends that have been over and looking at it, and it just really looks awesome.
Here's owner Jim Williams. This offer is limited, so call me at 844-317-4466. That's 844-31-RHINO or rhinoshieldco.com. Do you know what you will never hear when using Frank Duran, the real estate man? No gimmicks, no fluff, and no play on words. Your best interest is what's important to me. That's Frank, and he guarantees results. I back you up with a true written performance guarantee. Backed by a team of experts, but he oversees every deal. I'm with you every step of the way. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622, with RE/MAX Alliance. Don't trust your biggest financial investment with just anyone. Paid non-attorney spokesperson. Paid for by Action Matters. Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textland.us. Texting enrolls you or refers automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop to opt out.
Attention anyone who used Depo-Provera or other prescription birth control shots. If you or a loved one used Depo-Provera and were later diagnosed with brain tumors or intracranial meningioma, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text LEGAL to 200-300 right now to see if you qualify. A new study has uncovered evidence linking Depo-Provera use to the development of brain tumors, and emerging lawsuits allege that manufacturers of Depo-Provera knew the risks for decades but failed to warn people of the potential harm. If you or a loved one used Depo-Provera or other prescription birth control shots and were later diagnosed with brain tumors or intracranial meningioma, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text LEGAL to 200-300. Don't wait. Time to file a claim is limited. Text the word LEGAL to 200-300. If you or a loved one developed brain tumors after using Depo-Provera, you may be entitled to significant cash compensation. Text LEGAL to 200-300. That's LEGAL to 200-300. LEGAL to 200-300.
Why would you do that to me?
Los Angeles, 2021. Friendly neighbor appears out of nowhere and promises to make all my dreams come true.
Let's not forget that David Bloom was a professional con artist.
But my dreams soon turned into a nightmare. I'm Caroline DeMore. Listen as I take down my scammer on Once Upon a Con on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Once Upon a Con and start listening.
Are you struggling with vision loss as you get older? Do you have a child who is blind or losing
Hello.
vision? Are you a blind person wondering how you will succeed in school, at work, or as a
Hello.
We can help. The National Federation
Yes.
of Blind
Hi.
No, this is not Nathan.
10 seconds, guys.
You to learn more about us and how we can help at nfb.org, the National Federation of the Blind. Live the life you want.
Hey, Tom Martino here. 303-713-12, 713-8255. Jay, what is your question on a 66 Corvette?
Okay. So if you remember this one from about 30 years ago, you don't get to answer. 63 Corvette, actually. Guy drives it to work. When he gets to work, the brakes lock solid. He gets his little wrench out and bleeds off the pressure. He drives it home. Just about the time he gets home, his brakes lock solid. He gets out his wrench, takes the pressure off, does it again for days. And days and days, and no one can figure it out. What's going on?
I don't know. What do you think, Kev?
I've seen proportioning valves do that.
I know what it is.
Proportioning valve?
What is it?
What's that?
That you have some...
I know what it is.
What is it?
Go.
So brake lines corrode from the inside out. So these brake lines are so old and corroded, they're now acting like check valves. They allow the hydraulic fluid to come into the pistons, but they don't allow it to come back out. That's what I think is going on. How old are the flex lines on this Corvette?
Well, actually, all replaced. This Corvette went to a dealer probably 15 times, maybe more than that. He got a new everything. Same problem never solved up until I do know the answer, so I can tell you.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, what is it?
It's a good one.
Yeah, it is.
Come on.
What is it?
You got...
Well, you said everything got replaced. Masters, slaves, I mean, everything.
Yeah, so what did it turn out to be?
It's kind of fun because Tom, if you remember this, it turned out to be the half shaft had a vibration in it. And this was on your show quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay.
The half shaft had a vibration in it, and I said, this vibration is making the little plungers that moves the brakes actually expand and contract just enough.
Oh my
to create
God.
a tiny little bit of pressure. It just builds up and up and up and up and up and up. Eventually, it locks it solid. And I was told that wasn't even possible. It was the dumbest thing anybody ever heard in their lives. And finally, the owner was so frustrated, he said, all right, if you think it'll fix it, then go for it. Nobody else can fix it. So I did, and it worked.
Wow. Again, that's JR.
I would have got that in 100
years.
No,
that's not. You're not JR. You're Jay. Right. I always get you confused. Jay is one of our car experts that calls in, Kevin. Anyway, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. We're going to talk movies about cars.
Yeah. I can do that.
That's
sort of. Not really.
Talk about a one-off.
What is a half shaft?
The axles in the back.
It's just the little.
Oh, they're called half shafts.
Yeah,
is
it's
that the same as
it's
a
really
CD
an
joint
axle.
in front?
Basically. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of weird.
I know, Jay. It's not. I got the wrong JR. I know, JR. You're not the one.
That's a good sign.
Nope, not him.
No.
Jay's the good one.
So anyway, you know what? Anyway, I shouldn't even talk about this right now.
Oh, thank God. Good afternoon. Thanks so much for calling the Tom Martino Show. Okay. Did you want to talk to our car people? Okay. And your name's Janice. And what is the year and make of your car? What kind of Volvo? And what's going on with it, just generally? Because, trust me, I don't know anything about cars. Okay, so it's an issue with your warranty. All right, got it. All right, hang on for me. This might be legit. Oh, wait. That's not how you spell that. Damn it. I don't.
Oh, thank you. I'm totally not hungry. Okay. But thank you. It smells wonderful.
Oh.
How would these really send back a body that wasn't what they said it was? I mean,
that was the Palestinians that sent it to us.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Come on. I mean, what was other than to piss them off? I mean, like they weren't going to check.
It's savagery on top of savagery. They murdered these two babies.
They said the babies were not shot. They were, you know. Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's terrible.
Fucking unbelievable.
One thing I can't believe is like they're just doing this little trickle thing.
No word in the English language.
You know, I thought it was going to be sending the damn things back, or we're just going to come get them.
Are you sure we should get matching tattoos on our first date?
I have no answer. I have no ideas. I have nothing but shock.
Just keeps letting them have the power. You know?
That is just such a satanic thing to do. It's really satanic.
Would you think I was crazy if I told you that I had a scuff on my front left bumper, and it looks like a big pickup truck or something with black paint rubbed up against it.
That's from the 80s.
Wait a minute.
Could be possible, but when do you ever? Don't you take Ubers all the time?
You talking to me?
Yeah, don't you take Ubers all the time?
Well, I hardly take Uber. I mean, I'd like to. In fact, I'd like to have a chauffeur. You want a job?
I delete shit by accident all the time.
You do not want me driving. I have a restricted license, so that's
Wait
not
a minute.
gonna happen.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Are you kidding
Side
me?
of Iron Mountain. Yeah.
So that's
Yeah,
all
I can't
true.
drive at night.
That's all. Oh, you can't drive at night?
See that.
Yes. Well, I'm
just knew
on
there
my
were-
seventh
it's a whole
mimosa as
salt
we
mine.
speak. I mean, people think that there's only water
I know
in
they're
my
still on
a sippy cup, but
I simply built a computer room down there.
You know the
Oh, my-
mimosa is what?
Yeah, the more
Champagne
we learn
and
about
orange juice?
and sometimes a little bit of grenadine.
Oh, the federal. Yeah, I did hear that they can't process more than a certain limit of federal worker retirement. Because they literally have to go in the mine, find the box, pull out the envelope.
Move the paper through the office.
What the fuck have they done with $36 trillion?
Hello?
Hey, man, do you know how many people have gotten rich off the government?
Wow.
Yes.
It really
Are
is
those
pretty-
guys listening to offline, or are they ignoring me again? Because I'm going to start putting them in my lawsuit.
They don't have
Oh, it's-
headphones on.
It's hard not to
They
chuckle.
don't have
though.
headphones on.
Millions of envelopes down in the middle of a mine.
So you're stuck with Dragon and
How
I
embarrassing.
and pizza.
What is it, / backslash to print? Or
Hey, I never thought of pizza, you bastards. I got to get pizza.
Friday. Friday means pizza.
I need pizza. But I'm working out, so I really can't get pizza.
It just came to him, and
Want you to come here, Kevin bought you pizza.
Yeah, but I don't like eating before I work out.
well, there's a very easy solution to that.
Don't work out.
Don't work out.
You guys are really good.
First of all, I have to be here for the next 8 hours or something. I don't even know. 6 hours? I get confused.
And even if you eat now, it'll be 2 hours before you can work out.
Yeah, exactly.
You're fine.
Oh my God.
10 seconds, buddy.
Enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Pay. That's pay. Enter it now at khow.com. Keep listening to win on 630 KHOW.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, let's do it. Let's solve your problems, answer your questions, take your complaints. You know, I've been doing this in Denver 45 years and longer. If you take into my total career, it's 50 years. And I should have some kind of party. Really, I should. So, any ideas? Let's have a party.
Going away party?
No.
Ooh, yeah.
Just how about what do you call it? A Hallmark party, no, or a milestone party. Wait, is it called a milestone? Anyway, something like that. Did you ever notice, though, in Denver, whenever a media person, and it doesn't matter how long they could be on the air for 6 minutes, and when they retire, they're a legend. I often wonder about what it takes to be a legend. What does it take? Because I don't think we've had any broadcasting legends. Oh, wait, Bob Palmer would have been one. I would have called him a broadcaster. Ed Sardella.
Yeah, but it's unusual to retire from radio. Typically, they fire your ass first.
Well, typically they take you out feet first. But as far as retiring from radio, you're right. People get fired. And TV, more people retire from TV than radio. TV, though, TV, has gotten pretty stable. And that's because, and I don't think, I tried to think about this. Is it because I'm getting older and it's all relatively different to me, or is it really happening? So you tell me, Dragon, because you're not old. You're not an old guy. And you can tell me, Kachina. Here's what I'm thinking. Do the kids on TV reporting look way younger than they used to? And I know we were all young at one time. I'm not trying to say, oh, in my day, and I'm not trying to point my bony finger. I'm just asking, do they seem...
Oh, no, they totally look like fetuses.
Don't they seem truly like kids? And like
12 and 13 years old, for sure.
Like, I would think it's
I'm
high
with you
school
right there, my
journal.
friend.
I call it high school journalism. But they're not doing a bad job. In fact,
they're all anchors for Channel 1.
Some of them do a great job. In fact, I love them. I mean, I'm not even talking about quality. I'm just talking about their age. They look so damn young. Now, I want to say something else, and I don't know if this is DEI or if this is just we ran out of pretty people, but I think that they're more inclusive when it comes to looks. And I mean that in a good way, by the way. And it's no smart ass remark. I'm not trying to push an agenda, and I'm not calling anyone ugly. But I think we have a way bigger variety now of body shapes and sizes and how tall or short people are and their facial features. You don't have to necessarily be all that attractive. And I'm saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying people are downright ugly. No one is actually ugly when you get to know them, right? If they're good people. But I'm talking about that I think it's improved. I really do. I think TV has improved in that regard.
I don't know about that. I have to do a big timeout on that because I just got back last week from being a week in LA where I had to endure every local media station because they always broadcast the storm of the century.
Yeah, I know.
Because every time we get rain in Los Angeles, it is the storm of the century. And
we do that here too. Come on, all
sorts.
Everyone, we're obsessed with weather. Nothing wrong with being obsessed with weather, by the way.
No, not remotely close to the storm of the century. Like all the graphics that are plastered on the chyrons and everything. I mean, they're plastered everywhere.
But
and
the talent,
you
though,
hold have to just.
No, I'm not talking about that's the production.
I'm getting to that. Getting to that. They are all. I saw no white people.
Well, what does that mean, Kelly?
And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying that was noticeable. That anchors, everyone, they're all diversity, and that's fine. That's fine.
Of course it is.
Here's
the more important.
That's
here's
fine.
The more important
I don't
question.
have a problem with
Kelly,
it.
before you get my show canceled, let me interject here. I think that there was a time when TV news was all white people, and then there was a time when everyone had to look a certain way, and I went through all of that. And I don't think you necessarily. Here's what I think. I think people should be selected on merit, but I do think this, and this is going to sound a little DEI-ish. It might sound progressive, but I'm just going to say this: if you're talking about something like TV and entertainment and all of that, should it be merit-based? Of course it should. But where there are tiebreakers and you have a staff that leans heavily one way or another, I do believe it would be a good idea for these occupations only. I'm talking about like in the public eye. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we should push any agenda or any person or any ideology or anything, but when it comes to what people are looking at, I want my little kids, I want my little minority kids and my little white kids and my little Indian kids, my little whatever kids to see maybe parts of themselves. And I think that's a good thing. I don't mean that we have to force it.
I agree with you.
And I don't think we have to force it. And it certainly doesn't have to be lopsided one way or the other. And but I think that's a cool thing when kids can see themselves.
I agree with you.
Now, as far as what that stupid fire chief said, or that, you know, when somebody comes to save you, you want someone who looks like you. And I say, what? I want just the opposite.
Yeah.
I want some 7-foot burly guy or woman that can pick me up over their shoulder and save me. Do I give a damn?
Well, we should all hope so.
I mean, I don't care what they look like. And when I have a surgeon, I have never once looked at a surgeon and thought, hey, wait a minute, where's the dwarf, or where's the Italian, or where's the Puerto Rican? And the reason I mentioned dwarfs, by the way, I just want to, because that one news conference just made me laugh like crazy about when Trump was talking.
Well, listen, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm not trying to get your show canceled. I don't think I said anything that's not noticeable. But, you know, I grew up with two of the best broadcasters known to radio and television.
Well, thank you very much,
Vince
Kelly.
Scully.
You really didn't have to say that, but.
Three.
Okay.
Sorry. I'll include you in
nice
there.
save, yeah.
Vince Scully, Chick Hearn, and Tom Martino.
Vince Scully's good, yeah.
Vince Scully.
Yeah.
Chick Hearn.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah.
So I basically grew up with them. They were my entire childhood.
You know.
So I knew nothing but them.
No, I love, I used to love watching Walter Cronkite. Wasn't that cool? Or Chet Huntley and David Brinkley and all these old guys. But they were one-sided back then on how people looked and who they were, old white men. But I love David Cronkite. I mean, he was so cool. And but nowadays,
Walter,
if I want to be honest, we have great talent on the air right now. We do. We have, I think we have good talent on the air right now. I think we are blessed in broadcasting to have a lot of good talent. Now, we have a lot of sucky talent too, obviously, but we have, I think, mainly good people. When I look at all networks, even when I don't agree with them, I kind of like their, you know what? I'm going to say something like you may think I'm crazy. I'm only talking about entertainment value and P factor and Q factor and delivery and style. Okay. There are some people you find obnoxious, I think, because of what they're saying. But when you look beyond that, I think you find some really cool deliveries and stuff like that. And if you examine that, like, I happen to think, even though I can't stand her, I think Rachel Maddow is a great broadcaster. I know, I do. I think, I mean, I don't agree with the words she says. And I know people find her obnoxious, but it's very entertaining. She's very engaging. Where Jake Trapper is a Snoresville, right? And Wolf Blitzer used to be dynamic. He just needs no one to hang it up. My God, I saw him the other day, and I thought, who'd they get from the home? So, does anyone come to mind with you people on some really good broadcasters? Seriously, I'm not talking about like news people in general. I'm talking about broadcast. Well, almost everything's broadcast nowadays. Even the print people get on broadcast. But I think that we have such a plethora of talent. It's really hard to stand out nowadays. Don't you guys think? Especially when you throw into the mix not just broadcast personalities, but actually like TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. I mean, there is so much competition. It's very difficult to stand out. Very difficult. If you have any calls with today's car day, we're talking cars, but we'll talk about anything you want. And I did an interesting thing. I did some research on movies that have car makes or models actually in the title. Not movies about cars. There's a ton of those. But what about movies whose titles have a car in it? Like, let's do
like Gran Torino.
Exactly. That's the first one everyone mentions.
That's the first one that came to my mind. Yep. That was a cool car.
Mustang Country. Did you hear that one in 76?
No, huh?
Yeah. Ford v. Ferrari. I love that movie. That's a cool movie.
That was a good movie.
Was that a true story?
Oh, yeah. It was based on a factual story, yeah.
Really?
Now, how embellished it was, that's another question. But, yeah, that actually took place. And that was the Ford that finally beat Ferrari.
Which one was it, by the way? Was it the Mustang or what?
It's the Ford GT.
Ford GT.
It became the Ford GT.
Okay, see, I didn't know that. And then Corvette Summer. I don't remember that movie. I've heard of it. I've never heard of this one either. The Yellow Rolls Royce. The yellow Rolls Royce. How about Charger 426? Remember the 426 Hemi engine? And it's the Dodge Charger.
Oh, yeah.
The Dodge Charger. Anyway, we got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-8255. I just want to say one thing. One Clear Choice Garage Door. Since we're talking about cars, let's talk about a garage door. Let's talk about a garage. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They are garage doors, but the website is OneClearChoiceDoors.com. All of their prices are on there for every service they do, all of the parts. I love when a place is transparent about that. They have 24/7 service. The only garage door company I use, OneClearChoiceDoors.com, 720-370-3987.
This is Michael Brown, and you know how much I love small businesses. If you're thinking about advertising but not sure about how, where, or the cost, then KHOW is the one place where you can get everything you need to market and grow your small business. Radio or podcast ads, social media or digital, we can do it all, including search and email. If your small business needs to grow, let us help you with a plan that fits your budget and your needs. Call 844-844-IHEART. That's 844-844-IHEART.
Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. What do? Well, they help you plan for retirement in the Rockies. Actually, you can be anywhere. They're located in the Rockies, family owned and operated. And if you want to know what they do, call and ask them. But I'm going to give you a summation right now. They take all of the elements you need for retirement or should have, like IRAs or 401ks or cash plans or something like that, or nest eggs and insurances, wills, passing on your business or selling it. They take all of these elements and they try to put them in order for you so you have an organized plan for retirement. So you're not outliving your money and you're not wrought with anxiety. So call them and say, what can you do in my situation? The call is free, no obligation ever, 970-663-3211, 970-663-3211, rpcenter.com. Dun, dun.
I cannot. All I hear is air.
Air? What do you mean air?
She's talking on the phone.
She's on the phone.
So much better. Yes.
Is it entertaining?
There, I'll make her disappear.
So think of movie names.
Christine.
Star 54, where are you?
Hey, Paul Harvey was a great broadcaster.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Now, you know the rest of the story.
The rest.
Oh, my God. Get me out of here.
I think his best work was called When God Made a Farmer.
What?
When God Made a Farmer.
Was that called the
rest? It was an essay. No, it was an essay he wrote. It's a really short one that's available all over YouTube in his voice.
Oh.
It's only like 3 or 4 minutes, but it was a stunningly powerful statement. It's called And God Made a Farmer.
I think Paul Harvey had a son who tried to do something after he died, but it didn't work out very well. Tried to keep something going. Do you remember Frank Sinatra Jr., that kid? You know what's amazing to me is he never made it. I mean, his voice is good. He looks like his dad, but and Bublé like kicked his ass, and whatchamacallit kicked his ass. Josh Groban kicked his ass. Harry Connick Jr. kicked his ass. All of these guys in that genre, that Rat Pack genre.
Mm-hmm.
But his own son couldn't do it. And his own son is older than those guys, but he was really good. Do you remember the Barbra Streisand knockoff?
No.
Star is Born?
No, her name, she looked and sounded like her. Julie Budd, I believe her name was.
Never heard of her.
Very few people did. She was a sensation, but she was too much like her. It's crazy. I believe it was Julie Budd. Julie Budd. She's not an actress. Maybe I got the wrong name. No, it is Julie Budd.
And what do you think of?
It was Julie Budd.
What do you think of calling Matt from Paragon Services to update on that trashed out condo case? The flooded condo that still keeps flooding after 2.5 years.
What happened?
Matt was there a few weeks. Well, Matt was there a few weeks ago, and it would be great to get him on the air to give us an update on what he saw, what he thinks, how he can help this lady, Kalia.
Wait a minute. I'm trying to think of the case. What about we didn't get Bo on? I want Bo to talk about yesterday. Now here's Julie Budd on the Ed Sullivan Show. Let's hear her.
I'll call Bo and I'll ask him to call the studio line. So I'm going to step out and call Bo.
No, I'm good.
Johnny one note sang out with gusto.
Hey man, she sounds and looks like a young Streisand. Now she's not young any longer.
She sounds a lot like her.
What's that?
Sure.
Did you look
she
her up?
sounds a lot like her.
Julie Budd, B-U-D-D.
No, I was just listening to it.
Yeah, and this is Julie Budd. She's phenomenal. And this was when she was way younger. And she's way younger than Barbara Streisand, but now no longer young.
Johnny one note yelled willy-nilly.
10 seconds, guys.
That's amazing.
Trajan Wealth, your trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com.
Hey, Tom Martino, your Troubleshooter 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. You know, speaking of talent, we were talking about broadcasting talent, and then we got off on a conversation. It could have been off the air about, you know, singers and other people who've tried to carry on for their parents and couldn't hold the spotlight or couldn't hold their shoes, actually, some of them. But what about people who are famous right now for no apparent reason? And I know the first name that came to your mind, and if it didn't start with a K, then you don't know what you're talking about.
Which K are you talking about?
Which K? I'm talking
There's
about
a lot of them.
The main K, not the mom.
Yep.
But Kim.
Not the mom. Yep.
Kris Kardashian is a brilliant businesswoman. She capitalized on a bunch of nothing. Now, and the husband was a great attorney. The original one, the second husband, of course, is Caitlyn, Bruce Jenner. So here's the deal. The deal is this. I mean, how do you get famous for nothing? For having sex and your mom leaking the tape. Isn't that what happened? Although she doesn't admit she leaked it. Kim Kardashian. What is her talent? You know, remember Name That Tune? We should have a show called Name That Talent, where you have famous people come on and you try to name their talent. Sometimes there is no talent. Then you have people that have so much talent, they don't even know what direction to go. They're so talented. And then you have people who have talent that's really unrecognized. But I think everyone loves people with talent. I think where we get sick and tired of people with talent are when they take the talent and their fame and then they try to push an agenda. Like, because I can sing, I can now tell you who to vote for, or I can tell you how to think, or the way you should be thinking. And there are some really bad people that Jennifer Aniston is the worst. I mean, first of all, she's a moderate actress, not even close to being good, but she is always preaching. Always. You get tired of it, don't you? Do you get tired of it? I get tired of it. So let's go back to movies.
Well, yeah, like what makes them so much smarter? Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, and I mean, I'm not saying they can't have an opinion. Of course they can. I don't know why, you know, De Niro was obsessed. He was absolute. I love Robert De Niro's acting. Anyone who says he's not the greatest actor that ever lived, but he was obsessed with Trump. I mean, it was to
Still is.
You want to talk about derangement syndrome? This guy was obsessed with him, and God, he just looks so angry. Did you ever see the tapes and the crap that he did about Trump? I mean, on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
it was almost.
Oh yeah, no, he is deranged.
A little unbalanced. Okay, so Furious Mustang was a movie. We named the others. Ferrari.
How about Tucker?
Yep, that's right. And Tucker
Remember
was
Tucker?
a car at
Yeah.
the time. Lamborghini was the name of a movie. And then we had the Rolls Royce Baby, and then the Cadillac Man, My Mother's Red Mercedes, and Pontiac Moon. Wow, these are getting off. I've never heard of some of these. Camaro Crash. Datsun 280ZX. What about
Lincoln Lawyer? Did anybody mention Lincoln Lawyer?
It was just going to do it. The Lincoln Lawyer. Absolutely. And so anyway, those were movies that had the cars in them. Did you know there was one called The Bugatti Boys? And how many Bugattis do they sell a year? I mean, that car just befuddles the hell out of me, how they get so much money for that car. Oh, this is kind of weird, but it was not named after a Jeep, but it was Jeepers Creepers. Now, there are movies about cars, and they are way outnumbers the actual titles. But like Fast and Furious series, how many were they? Make 16 of those movies? Gone in 60 Seconds. The worst movie I've ever seen in my life. There's actually two of them with Nick Cage. Oh my God!
Yep, it wasn't terrible.
Oh, I thought it was terrible. And then one called Built.
That's in my hood.
Steve McQueen.
That's in my hood.
So, still a bad movie. Vanishing Point.
It's not a bad movie.
Anybody remember Vanishing Point?
Vanishing Point, yeah.
How about the
How about
Italian
Smokey
Job?
and the Bandit?
Tell me the cars that were used in the Italian Job for the $64,000 question.
Well, those were a whole bunch of original Mini Coopers.
You're right. Man, you know a lot, Dimitri. What the hell?
Oh.
Anybody remember Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Yes.
How about Herbie the Love Bug?
Yeah. Le Mans. How about Days of Thunder?
Yep.
Grand Prix.
Yep.
Drive.
Le Mans.
Baby Driver Baby Driver. Death Proof.
Come on, Knight Rider.
I like the Firebirds and Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah. Ronin. Then the Transporter. I love Jason Statham. Man, he's a cool actor. I like that. He's very understated, and he doesn't get the acclaim like Schwarzenegger and the other guys get, or Von Damme did. But does anyone know who I mean? Jason Statham. Do you know who he is? He's a cool guy. If you
Yeah,
Google,
the Transporter.
He's very cool. My husband has a man crush on him.
Very
much so.
He is so cool. He really is. I love his movies. Need for Speed, and then of course all the Mad Max movies. They were kind of car related, right? And then Cannonballs Run. Oh man, they were big time. Cannonball Run. Smokey and the Bandit. Did you know there were 3 of those? And then
I didn't know that.
The Wraith. It was a supernatural revenge movie, and the guy had a Dodge. And then Red Line, and then Torque. I don't remember that. That was mostly about motorcycles, though. Then you had Cars from Disney. You had Cars 2, Cars 3. Herbie the Love Bug, of course. Herbie Rise Again. Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo. Herbie Goes Bananas. Herbie Fully Loaded. Then you had Speed Racer. 2-lane blacktop. God, there's so many. Cars are such a big deal for us. Then what's the one that, Christine, isn't that a thrill? Who wrote that one? That's a
horror movie, yeah.
Isn't that a Stephen King?
Stephen King,
Stephen
King.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah, but by the way, hold on. I have to do another timeout here.
What?
You're going to disparage Gone in 60 Seconds, but you're going to laud Days of Thunder.
No, I hate Days of Thunder.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no.
Just wanted to make sure.
In fact, there are not many Tom Cruise movies. Well, I shouldn't say that. I like the Top Gun series. But most of Tom Cruise movies are just monuments to himself. You know, he's, how can I make myself look cool? And I mean, the acting is not there. And I mean, Tom does have talent, though, man. I mean, not that he cares what I think, but there was this one movie. He played this guy, this bald guy, this fat bald guy, an agent of some...
Tropic Thunder. What was his name?
Tropic Thunder.
Yes. You're right. Man, was it
a classic.
You know, that told me that this guy's got talent. I mean, he truly went out of himself on that one, because there are a lot of actors who act like themselves. And, you know, and I have a feeling De Niro's one of them. I mean, De Niro's brilliant. He's freaking brilliant. But really, if you look at all his characters, aren't they all kind of the same? His same expressions, his same smirk on his face.
It's like Ryan Reynolds. He's only got that one character, too.
A smartass. No matter what he plays.
Yep.
It's a smartass. I like him, but you're right. It's a smartass. And he plays it very well. And I think one of the most understated, talented people in show business, honest to God, one of the understated is Jimmy Fallon. He truly, he can act, he can sing, he can dance. He's just an all, and Jimmy Fallon, he grew up 12 miles away from me in a small town, went to high school with my first wife. And he was from this little town in upstate New York called Saugerties. And he put that place on the map because he was such a good guy. He'd come back and he never got too big for his hometown and would really ingratiate himself around town. And he's just a down-to-earth person. Deputy Bo, right after this, he's going to tell us about yesterday. Now, I know he talked about it actually leading up to it, but what actually happened and it worked, it just astounds me right after this.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon. 630 KHOW, Denver. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taking a Walk Podcast.
On the south end of town, I-25 northbound, still seeing some delays after University Boulevard. A center lane crash has stop and go back from Colorado Boulevard, seen about 16 minutes of delays through the area. I-25 southbound back to highway speeds through town. Pretty calm driving on I-70 east and westbound to and from the DIA area. Pena Boulevard southbound. Some congestion after 56th and approaching I-70. If you've got a traffic tip, dial pound 250 and say the keyword traffic. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
I'm Buzz Knight, host of the Taking a Walk podcast. Step with us into the world of music. I bring you up-close conversations with new and legendary musicians. For one of the best music interview podcasts, listen to Taking a Walk on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
You know, so many people want to be a landlord, but they don't know where to take their first step. Vestera Turnkey was established for this. What they do is research the country for promising markets of upwards appreciation, the greatest potential for that, and great rents and resales. And then they help you get into a home as real estate people. And they help you sell the home as real estate people. And in between, they have management companies, not them, but they pass you on to management companies for no upcharge that will help manage the property while you own it. So you become a landlord, and they believe in a horizon of 1 to 3 years only. And they help you maximize your investment. If you're interested, mybiggestrureturn.com. They walk you through the whole process. mybiggestrureturn.com.
Hey. Yeah, Dee's probably on a strict diet where he has to eat at a certain time, and then, you know, you just give away his
real
food.
Parmesan is expensive, so they don't want to send that out, you know?
Oh, no. Something like this, they have to send that. You know?
Yeah, they have to send it.
I'm just talking about
the youngster.
Get that shaker out of the fridge. And
Yeah, he works for free,
I
right?
use the real stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, his only perk is the pizza on Fridays, and then you just straight up give it away.
Did I not just give him silverware and red pepper packets?
Oh, yeah,
that should count for
the
something.
leftovers from the box. Here, Take the forks that are just given away. Oh, you want some red pepper flake too? Oh, here, take that. Oh, man.
Really? Okay. That's good stuff. I'm going out for pizza later on tonight to Chicago. But
I've been there a long time. Last time I was there, the thing that was killer was the Italian nachos.
oh, really?
They use like a pasta chip.
What?
Yeah.
That's brilliant. I've never heard of a pasta chip. But
Google Italian nachos at
okay, so Old Chicago?
Old Chicago. I mean, it's deadly. It is.
How do I send Tim a private
It's called
message?
Italian nachos.
Let's see. I don't know. Let's see, Tim. How do I send you a private message? There are no friends online.
They're definitely they're fried chips, and they're made of pasta.
Tim.
Okay.
There.
Oh, God, that sounds so good. Oh man. Well, I love Old Chicago. I love Old Chicago.
Yeah, my brother and I used to go there a lot for the beer. You know.
Oh yeah, that's how we all
come out with
discovered it.
Different beers every month or every quarter, whatever it was.
Oh yeah.
And some of them sucked, obviously. I mean, not every beer is for everybody.
But you got a chance to taste everything.
A lot of different stuff.
Like anytime you show up, there's something brand new to try.
Yep.
You cannot run out of brand new options over there. Look at this, jeez. Yeah, that the Italian nachos looks amazing.
I can't believe you've never heard of it. It's one of those cult kind of following foods there.
Oh, it's got the sausage. It's like a pizza. It's got all the pepperoncini peppers all over the place.
No, it's awesome.
It's because I always get the pizza.
Sure.
I always
Well, that's
get
the
the
problem. We were doing both, and by the time you get done eating them,
Yeah, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you think it's just like an appetizer, and you just like, damn, that was good.
But right there, that's a huge meal just in itself, and that might even be better than pizza.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because of the crunchiness.
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, and you get all of the stuff in pizza,
Yep.
except you get much better texture.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
They ain't listening to you.
Yeah, they never do. Tell them to go to hell.
They don't have their headphones on.
I do now.
There you go.
Yeah, you guys never listen to me. I'm like talking in the wind here.
Now we're ready. We're paying
I thought
attention.
you were talking to Kelly. We didn't want to interrupt.
We're talking about Italian nachos.
Oh, Italian nachos?
Yeah.
With chips?
From
at
Old Chicago.
Old Chicago, yeah.
And they
Kevin
have
just clued
chips
me
on
into the
chips.
existence.
It's like a noodle. It's a pasta chip.
Yeah, Kevin said
Oh,
it's not
no
a regular
fooling,
chip, it's a pasta
man.
chip.
That's
Yeah,
like...
Take a look at the
lasagna.
photos.
They fry lasagna.
Oh, now I know what I want. Hold on.
that
Can
makes
you
sense.
get that delivered?
From Old Chicago, I imagine.
Yes.
Sure. Just
Well,
DoorDash
Chicago's
it.
pretty far away.
DoorDash it, you know.
They're in Highlands Ranch. That's
Oh,
really
shit,
far
no.
away.
That's
Yeah,
the
Kelly
only...
will drop it off after the show.
Well, there's one in Green Mountain, and there's one in Highlands Ranch, and there's another one way out in Aurora somewhere.
10 seconds.
Eligible GLP-1 patients typically lose 1 to 2 pounds per week in their first 6 months with Mochi when combined with a healthy lifestyle.
Check out joinmochi.com.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hey, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Deputy Bo has an update. So I want to, basically a woman called in her 80s and said, they say I need a new furnace. That's really what it boils down to. And the furnace would have cost her $9,000 or more. Deputy Bo investigated. And what did you find, Bo?
Yes, Erlene, she had no heat. She called approximately 5 companies out there, and they basically were just trying to sell her new equipment. Most of them stated that the furnace is inoperable, of course, but no parts are available. They just couldn't get parts for it.
Yeah.
And Erlene's on a fixed income. She's got her daughter and I think some grandkids living there. They just couldn't afford the $9,000 for a new furnace. And it's trained equipment, 80% efficient. It's about 15 years old. I went over there and looked at it and was able to determine basically what the issue was. And it was the motor in the computer assist for the variable speed drive. I couldn't find one locally, but I called the manufacturer, Train. And I told them the story about Erlene and how she didn't have heat in her house since October. And, they felt sorry for her, and they went ahead and contacted their other distributors back east in New Jersey and found the engine with the computer board.
Now, hold on, Bo. You've been in the business years and years. What I want to, isn't it unusual to have parts available for old furnaces like that?
Yes, they're available, but this was.
But is it unusual? Is it unusual that they're available, or are they readily available?
They're normally readily available if you look for them.
Okay, then I want to know this. Why are so many companies, and I guess the answer is profit, why are so many companies hell-bent on replacing if someone is older and can't afford it and they can do a replacement of a board? Why don't they?
Well, if you're going to try to quote somebody $9,000 versus maybe $2,000 for a repair, there's a hell of a lot more money in new installation than there is a repair. And then you got to track down the part. Now, the parts on older furnaces are a little more tricky to find. You just got to do a little investigating on it. But, no, they were just trying to sell her a new piece of equipment. But parts, I've got a boiler in my house that was installed in 1963, and I can still get parts for it. These new technicians, they just don't want to. They just want to go in and
now.
And sell.
Was this a boiler or a furnace?
It's an 80% Train XV80, 80% two-stage furnace.
Okay.
Fairly high efficiency. So back to the story. Train donated the motor. I mean, the wholesale cost on the motor was $1,300. That was like below my cost. So they ordered it about a week and a half ago, and the shipper lost the motor. So I had to tell Erlene we had to wait another week or so the Train Supply actually next day aired the motor the other day.
Now,
before I went into the show, yes.
You found Train did this gratis as far as installation. Is that right?
Well, what happened, the Train manufacturer supplied the motor, and then they suggested that one of their Train HVAC contractors install the motor because the motor had to be programmed. It's like these new cars. It had to be programmed to the furnace. So they did the programming, and then they contracted with J&J HVAC Company, one of their good dealers. He came out after the show. I delivered the motor. Jerry from J&J HVAC met me out there, and they did the motor installation, and she had heat by 5:30 yesterday afternoon.
And how much was the part, by the way?
Well, a contractor would have probably charged her at least $2,200 for this motor.
Okay. And installation would have been included in that?
No. Installation, I would say, be about $3,000.
Wait.
$3,000 for the job.
Okay, for the whole job, $3,000. But that's still a lot cheaper. That's still a lot cheaper than 9 or 10.
Yes.
How much did it end up costing her?
Do you really want to know what it cost her?
Yeah.
Zero.
Oh, man.
Nothing. It was all donated.
That is such...
It didn't cost her a penny, Tom.
That's so nice.
I mean, she's only getting $300 a month Social Security, so I donated my time. I just did the diagnosis.
Yeah.
Train donated the motor and the $300 next day air bill. and J&J HVAC donated their labor, so it didn't cost her. She just had to wait, but she's got a furnace that's going to last a long time, and it didn't cost her family anything. And she wants to call in to the show on Monday and thank you guys personally.
Well, that would be good,
She is
Bo.
very
Thank you.
happy.
We didn't know there was much hope here when you took the case on. But the reason I know we talked about it before, the reason I wanted you on now is because it actually happened. I mean, it has been installed and it's working.
Yes.
Okay.
I got a picture of it.
Good. Thank you.
It's running, and she called me and she said, okay.
I really do appreciate it. We got more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. By the way, if you're planning a will or an estate plan of some kind, or you need a trust, or you want to do an LLC, did you know an LLC can own properties that go through your death and can be a very creative way to do something without a trust? It's like having your kids a part of it. I mean, all of these creative ideas, Dan McKenzie, McKenzie Law for estate planning. So you can always call them and ask for information. 833-CO-PLANS. 833-CO-PLANS.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
On the south end of town, I-25 northbound, still seeing some delays after University Boulevard. A center lane crash has stop and go back from Colorado Boulevard, seen about 16 minutes of delays through the area. I-25 southbound back to highway speeds through town. Pretty calm driving on I-70 east and westbound to and from the DIA area. Pena Boulevard southbound. Some congestion after 56 and approaching I-70. If you've got a traffic tip, dial pound 250 and say the keyword traffic. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of the greatest fighter pilot in American history, Dick Baum. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
Information is one of the most important and critical things you can do when shopping, and that includes shopping for an attorney, and that includes legal cases. What consumers want first is information, and that's where John Fuller stands apart from the rest. He's a personal injury attorney who is pledged to answer anyone's questions on personal injury with no obligation to hire him. Now, a lot of attorneys will answer your questions once you hire them, or they give you an intake committee and you have to go through all this stuff. With John Fuller, you can just talk to him before, up front. No big intake. All you do is talk to him. All you do is call if you had a problem, an injury, and he'll answer your questions, 303-597-4500. If you do hire him, it's on a percentage fee basis, so it's never out of pocket from the very beginning to the end. 303-597-4500. That's callfuller.com, the website, callfuller.com. You know, The Art of Granite has been doing granite countertops for years, and I have been associated with him for years because I love the way he does business. Mitch Fleury is straightforward, honest, forthright, has great skill and customer service. Here's what he does. He gives you quotes on the phone and sticks to them. How can he do it? Well, tear out and haul away is always free. And, you know, he doesn't really mark up the materials for countertops. They're wholesale. So he's doing the fabrication and installation, and he knows that pretty well by square foot. So if you call him, give him an idea of your project, you get a price on the phone. I love it. He does countertops of all kinds, natural stone and imported rock, and also he does man-made materials. TheArtOfGranite.com, 303-386-5919.
Tom, I have more for Kevin whenever you feel that's appropriate.
Oh, that's cool. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Call Troy and get your home sold for the most money. 720-900-4433. Again, that's 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford with Remax Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions apply. Just when you thought it couldn't get any better, the Art of Granite is making your countertop project even more attractive. As you know, they normally sell all material at wholesale, natural stone or quartz. Now, the Art of Granite is slashing installation labor by 25%. And tear out and haul away is always free. Get your prices on the phone. Call now, 303-386-5919. Theartofgranite.com, 386-5919.
Now Taxes is using Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get your refund, so you can do more with it right in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantee. Tax return available with TurboTax Live.
You think all real estate brokers are created equally? Ha! Think again. Different than many other teams, as a master certified negotiation expert, I personally negotiate your home sale when you list your home with me. That's Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. I get your home sold faster. I put more money in your pocket, and I back you up with a true written performance guarantee. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. The Remax Alliance. Give me the opportunity, and you'll be glad you did.
Seeking a career with meaning? Deliver AI that impact our nation's intelligence. Support digital transformation at critical government agencies. Work on ambitions that matter. GDIT. Explore careers in technology.
Good afternoon. Thanks for calling the Tom Martino Show. Like advertising, okay. Need to be a little more clear. Are you talking about advertising on the show or advertising that has been on the show? Yeah, absolutely. So the best thing to do would be to send me an email with all your contact information to help@troubleshooter.com, and that's all one word. help@troubleshooter.com. And I'll go ahead and forward that. I'm so sorry, go ahead. Yeah, no problem. It is help, HELP, at Troubleshooter, and that's all one word, TROUBLESSHOOTER.com.
Ten seconds.
Exactly. So I need all of your contact information.
I'm walking the dogs. It's now easier than ever. You can now set Denver's talk station as a preset.
Awesome. Doing it now.
On the free iHeartRadio app.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So let's just finish up this hour with some, and by the way, you can call at any time with problems, questions, complaints. That don't have to be car related, but let's finish up with some questions. Either stump us about legal concepts or the mechanic. Go ahead, either one. Pick whatever you want.
Okay, Tom, thank you. I have a question for Kevin from Sheridan Auto Tech. Kevin, a few years ago, Colorado made kind of a controversial change by switching to a slightly different de-icing agent. It used to be magnesium chloride, and now it's magnesium chloride and something else. And the reason it was controversial, and in my view still is, it is much more corrosive than magnesium chloride by itself is. So I'm wondering, not that it's been a few years, and by the way, it's not as corrosive as actual salt that they use in the Midwest, so it's not a total disaster for us, but now that it's been a few years, have you observed a higher incidence of, higher rate of either just surface rust or rust through or anything else that you see under the vehicles? Is it something for us to worry about?
I have not, no, but they don't use a lot of the chemicals here as opposed to in the mountains, so I think maybe, you know, mountain-based communities may be seeing more of it. Mm-hmm. I know offices and different things. It's ruining carpeting and stuff like that, I know. But cars, no, I haven't really seen much.
So, one of the ways to combat corrosion underneath is a very successful product that's very popular in the Rust Belt. It's called fluid film. Are you familiar with that stuff?
No,
I can't find anybody here who applies rust inhibitors.
What is that?
Such as that. It's it's like a clear liquid that they spray on all over the undercarriage of the vehicle, and it's about an annual treatment. But from what I've seen of it and the reviews I've read and watched on the YouTube, it's pretty effective at keeping cars from rusting away in places like New York, Chicago, Nebraska.
Yeah, the Midwest is the cars we see a lot are just rotting in pieces. It's terrible.
Here, you don't think I need to worry about the new magnesium
chloride? Get a good car wash, keep it clean. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. I can hear the music, so I'll save the rest of my questions for later.
I want to tell people that we have another hour to go on the Troubleshooter Show, and we got a lot to talk about as far as cars go. Some of the newer models coming out. We're talking EVs. I have a lot of texts I have to get to. So stick around. 303-713-TALK. 713-8255.
Woohoo! I remember the old undercoating.
Oh, God, that would just trap moisture.
Nasty. That was terrible. And I used to do it back east when I grew up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
You cover yourself completely and you spray that black tar underneath.
Yeah.
It's nasty.
And a lot of times that would cause hidden rust that you don't even see until the whole thing just, suddenly a big hole opens up.
It doesn't treat anything, it just seals it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't use that crap anymore.
Okay, guys.
Call Josh to discuss repositioning some savings to a long-term care savings account that pays 3-to-1 on your deposits and pays you back if you don't use it. 970-872-PLAN. That's 970-872-PLAN.
Italian nachos, huh?
Oh, Tom, those photos look so delicious.
They're dangerous.
Little bastards.
Yeah, and they come with everything you find on the pizza, except now the chip itself is better than that nasty soggy crust.
But where's the closest one?
I think these
fuckers. I can't stand these bad.
There isn't the closest one.
Oh,
they're all pretty far away now.
Sons of bitches. I'm trying to get something ordered here. Pisses me off. You know what? Every time I go to order... Never mind, I won't talk about it with everybody listening. Let me just give a good tip here, as I always do.
Yeah, it's either way east,
especially in this weather.
Yeah.
I'm going to the Highlands Ranch one tonight.
Who are you going with?
Do you remember the photo I showed you of the black and white photo of Michelle?
Yes.
That she uses on her company website? We're going there tonight.
Hot damn, man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, anyway. So, I found some pretty good wings. Not anything like yours.
Ooh.
I'm not talking about yours. No, it's
Thank
not
you.
water. It's just you put such a freaking hankering for wings with me. I found some at Postino's.
Oh, you know where they have really famous wings that's extremely close to where you are right now is at Piper Inn. It's that biker bar over there on Parker Road and Iliff, and they're super famous for their wings.
Yeah, so...
I love wings.
Oh, you've had them, Kevin?
No, I just love wings in general.
Oh, hey, Tom, yeah. Kevin is into buffalo wings as well, so we need to have this wing
I do
off.
them on my Traeger.
See, Kevin has a wing recipe too.
Yep.
We need to have the wing off.
A wing off.
Kevin, Mark, and me, And you with your cacciatore.
Mark will just complain.
Yeah, but mine could be in the same class as your guys. That yours guys have that. Mine is more, weird.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's just another item for the rotation.
Well, Mark's still complaining about the rib-off we had when he got toasted.
Oh, I think that's why he's afraid to schedule the wing off.
He is. Yep.
He's afraid to schedule the wing off. I
Who
knew
is?
it.
Mark?
Because I guess Kevin spanked his ass with during the rib off.
Oh, yeah.
And so now Mark doesn't want to repeat that experience with a wing off.
The last time he brought it up is when he called me on an issue.
Oh my
and then
God,
he put me on hold,
hilarious.
and then he trash talked me while I was on hold,
Yes.
so I couldn't answer back.
Yes.
Nice.
So, funny fact on this.
Yeah.
I just asked Mark. Thank God it was this, mundane. But I said, did you remember to get dog treats and food? Please. I was supposed to send that to my husband. Just sent it to Mark.
I'm glad that's all you sent.
Yeah,
And
no kidding.
he emailed me back, or he texted me back, no. And I said, oh shit, sorry, not for you. And he's like, I assume so. So I got that going for me. But I've done that before to Tom, too. Whenever there's, like, a person, because I text my husband so often, when it's on the top of your phone, you just, automatically go in there and reply.
Oh, I do that all the time.
And so Tom's gotten texts of mine before, I'm sure.
Drunk text?
No, I sent a text to Mark because I thought it was Adam, and I said, did you remember to get dog treats and food? Because we're out of dog treats and food.
At least you didn't send any naughty pictures.
I did not.
Why is that the first thing everybody says? It's what
I've
Dimitri
never
said,
sent
too.
I don't do that.
Yes, it is.
What? Everybody's head is in like that.
Seriously.
In the bush.
Just all the guys, that's all.
I don't know. I didn't put that down there. I'm sorry.
Quote Ozzy Osbourne. In the bush. In the bush.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you for
You think
checking.
I wouldn't
I
pick up on
appreciate that. Okay, bye. See, now that's stellar service, man. I, by mistake...
They're just looking out for you.
Oh, did you just get a pizza?
But I, by mistake, put down delayed delivery for later.
Oh.
And she said, that doesn't sound like you. And so I said...
Okay.
If they're really on the ball, they would have had it delivered already
Man, I
without
got
ordering
a
it.
lot of texts. Holy shit. I have a lot of texts here I got to get. A lot of them.
That's okay, because we only have Ken on the line.
Yeah, we got a lot of them.
It's been super slow.
I think-
Everybody is either on vacation.
Yeah, it
or...
was some weird weather.
Ripped off, bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help the common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hello, Tom Martino here. Let's talk about your problems, questions, complaints, and try to get some headway here. I got a lot of texts that have piled up on car day today. We'll go to Ken first on the phone at 303-713-TALK or 303-MARTINO. You can call that 24/7, 303-627-8466. First, we go to Ken. Ken, what's going on?
I just had a couple comments about that heating thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think that these companies, they shouldn't make things as obsolete as quick as they do.
I know.
And that price of that motor, that had to have been like full retail. I mean, it was nice that the company came up with one and shipped it. That really was cool. But it's like, you know, you go to Granger and it's, you know, not necessarily a proprietary motor. You get a 3rd horsepower motor for whatever, $150. But it was nice, and these contractors, that was cool.
You know what,
So
it was,
if you want,
but hold on. Are you telling me, though, that you can take a blower motor from a generic blower motor and substitute it? Don't you have to have the bolt patterns and all that?
oh, you're right about that, but they shouldn't be so proprietary.
No, you're
It's
right.
like,
And they shouldn't be that
only-
expensive. In other
you
words,
know,
what
I
you're
guess-
saying is if you can buy an electric motor for $150, why is it $2,200?
Gentlemen, I think that the issue this detail we're forgetting in this conversation is this particular motor that Bo got for the elderly lady has 16 wires.
On an 80%,
Well,
wait. Why? That's what I don't understand. An 80% efficient, old-fashioned system, what the hell are 16 wires for?
Well, there's more to it than just the motor. It sounds like an actual assembly. It does have some computer component that needs to be programmed to the furnace. There's a lot more to it than just a plain motor.
Well, you know, I had a boiler at my house a few years ago. I went down to a company in Denver. It's called Johnston or something.
Yeah.
I bought a boiler. The whole thing was like $3,000, and I put it in, and it's holding up fine.
Well, Ken, it's hard.
And
A lot of people don't have the skills to do that or to troubleshoot. Everything really
agreed.
really comes down to time. I one time had I had an issue with an item, and to replace the item would have been $8,000. To replace the circuit board that I traced it to would have been $2,000. I looked at the circuit board and I found an onboard relay. Now, no one works on circuit boards. No one does. But I found this onboard. I traced the signal. It stopped at that onboard relay. I then looked at the onboard relay literally under a magnification and saw it was Johnson Controls. They have an office right here in Centennial. It was in Centennial. I asked them if they had those. They said,
I've
yeah.
dealt with them before. Yeah.
You know, what's your account number and how many do you want? Because they're a giant manufacturer or whatever they are. And I said, I want one. It's a tiny little. And he said, well, sir, we don't sell retail. He says, listen, why don't you just come down and talk to me? So I went down there and he handed me one, a little tiny chip. He said, here. That saved me $2,000. I put that sucker in. I soldered that in there. But no one does that anymore. No one has the time to do it. You got to go take the component, then take the circuit board, then trace the signal of the circuit board. And it all comes down to nobody is skilled enough, nor will they take the time to do it. And the labor. I mean, everything is R&R right now. You remove and replace. That's what you do.
Well, you know, here's my thing. Like my old boiler, before I replaced it, I could get some parts for it pretty easy, put them in myself, pretty cheap. My argument is, does everything, and I've done R&D, I've done circuitry development and tracking and repair, but does everything have to be so complicated? You know, I ran into the same dilemma the other day. Of course, it wasn't my idea to get this Ford, but then when you own it, it's like a bad marriage,
right?
And the windows weren't going down, and there's a little heater actuator, and I looked all over town, and all these guys wanted $800 to do it. I found some guys. I went through a whole winter without a heater, but they took care of that vent thing and the window for $400. So yeah, it can be time. I was otherwise occupied.
And no one there are no
really,
repair people anymore, and they're all dying off.
And you know the difference is, I've got this other old pickup. You know, it's just a hand crank, and it's like a $12 cable if the heater's messed up. And a lot of car guys would go, well, you know, that's a bygone era. And I'm thinking, well, you know, if consumers, you know, did a little bit more, like, I'm not paying that for the car because it's going to need so much work.
Right.
Let it sit on your lot. I'll get old Beth to go. So consumers, unfortunately, tend to go, especially more women, oh, it looks nice, my friends will like it. Oh, okay, it's $800 a month, plus another $150 for taxes and repairs and
by the way,
insurance.
Over the years,
mm-hmm.
Just so you know, over the years, more men have been ripped off with used cars than women. For us.
Probably.
I mean, because
I believe it.
They pull the trigger way faster. Women are way more skeptical. Now, women do get ripped off.
I think they ask more questions, Tom.
Women do get ripped off.
Women, in my experience, they ask more questions.
Now, Kevin.
Back to this heater.
Yeah.
Ken.
Go ahead.
What I want to do is this guy J&J or whatever, I'll send him $100 for doing the right thing by that lady.
Well, that's nice. I mean,
you give me the address.
Well, I don't have it, but I'm sure Bo will get it to you. And Kachina, get his number, 303-713-TALK. What a nice guy, 303-713-8255. I think it would be better spent if you sent it to her, though, the old lady. So I have some texts here relating to everything we've been talking about today. Let me just go to them. Okay, one here. You helped me when I was in Niwot. And, okay, the problem with electric cars nowadays is that they can't make it without subsidies, so they're not really viable. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what they're saying. The next one here is this. How do you stop vapor lock? Or first of all, no, here's what they ask. What's the main cause of vapor lock?
Just the pump can't pump vapor. It has to be liquid.
But how does it get to be that way? Heat is the main cause, right?
From heat. The only thing that causes is heat.
And is it just heat, or is it the routing of the fuel lines?
Well, the routing of the fuel lines by a heat source and the quality of fuel combined, you get a vapor.
But what I want to know is this, though.
Can't be...
If you do have a vapor lock problem and it's routed, why not reroute the lines?
That's part of the repair, yeah.
Okay,
also
so
to cover the lines are metal lines.
Did they not know that when they built the car, or they just take a chance?
I think it's a fuel quality issue as well. So more alcohol in the fuel causes the vapor lock to be more of a problem. But no, it's definitely some manufacturers just don't know better.
Someone wants to know, would be pouring ice cold water over a line make it okay? Clear the vapor?
Sure. For until it warms up again, yeah.
Okay. So it would get you past the rough spot. But then you have to know where to pour it, too. You have to know where it's vaporing.
Exactly.
Now, I mentioned the movie Ford versus Ferrari. Somebody wants me to know that there's an actual, it was Carroll Shelby who raced that car. And there's I didn't know this. There's a Shelby American Museum. Do you know where it is? It's in Boulder.
I think it's in Texas, Tom.
Boulder.
Oh, it is?
Boulder.
It's where?
Oh, you're right. It is in Boulder.
It's only open on Saturdays. Can you believe that? But you can actually see the Cobra and GT40. That's pretty cool. I did not realize that. And why would a museum only be open on Saturday? I guess because they can. Okay, my emission light would come on. I would tighten the gas cap. About 20 miles later, it'd come on again. I installed a new OEM gas cap, but the light keeps coming on and off. Why?
Something other than the gas cap?
Well, yeah, but what would it be? Why did the gas cap seem to help? Because it's more than one thing.
I don't know that it did. Yeah, I don't know that it did or didn't. But if it's related to an evap.
Can that vent line being clogged in the fuel system cause that?
Clogged or a hole in the line or
and by the way, those who want to know
open.
what that vent line is, it's in the filler neck of the car, and it vents to the down underneath outside, right?
Well, nothing vents outside anymore. That's the thing. It's a sealed system. So it vents back to the fuel tank.
Okay.
So it'll go through the charcoal canister and back to the tank.
And the number one way it gets clogged is people overfuel or fill
That's
their
a
car.
Big problem, yes.
So you overfill your car, and what happens is that eventually gets debris in it, and it clogs, and that can cause an engine light.
It can cause contamination in that charcoal canister that causes all kinds of problems, yeah.
All right, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Hey Broncos country, it's Terrell Davis here. It's a new year. It's time to work on a new you.
At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
You know, when I talk about personal injury, John Fuller is the guy we go to as our expert. In fact, he will talk to you about your injury, about your accident, about your passengers, about anything you need to talk about right up front. No charge, no cash out of pocket, free of charge with no obligation. You just call them. No other attorneys do that. Now, a lot of attorneys will do the intake and all that and answer questions, but they're assuming you're hiring them. John Fuller will talk to you. The attorney will talk to you, not intake people, and will answer all of your questions. If you decide to hire him, it's on a percentage fee basis. Then you get a cell phone that you can call or text at any time. He's the real deal. 303-597-4500, 303-597-4500. You know, Vestera Turnkey, I've said it before, is a way to become a landlord. You buy a rental through them, and they help you find the right market, the right house, when to buy it, when to sell it. They have management companies that help you in between. You don't even have to take a phone call. And these people have it down pat. In fact, they've been making 30 to 80% returns for people anywhere from 1 to 3 years, depending on your hold time. They don't believe in long term. They believe in getting it done right. Now, of course, they're not going to force you to sell if you don't want to. Vestera Turnkey, mybiggestreturn.com. These are people that you should check out if you want to become a landlord without the conventional hassles and risks. 303-888-3788.
That's a critically important chemical.
How much time?
Kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
4.
Thank you.
But the mines are about 1,500 feet down, so it's not too deep.
That's not deep?
No.
1,500 feet?
No, that's not bad. It's just a big elevator goes down. You don't even realize, you know. And it's constant 70 degrees underground. So you work in T-shirt, you know.
Yeah, year round, it's 70 degrees down there.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of the lift valve? Thank you.
Lifter?
A truck.
Issue with truck / Liffey valve. Oh, it says Liffey.
No, iffy.
Oh.
It's a capital I because it automatically goes to capital. Iffy. Really, honestly, Kevin?
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
It's going to be fascinating. He called in at 418, huh? It says Liffey valve.
It does. It's probably a Chevy with a lifter problem, because they all have problems.
I heard about all those Fords where the spark plugs break off when you try to remove them.
Yep, you gotta take them out the right way.
Oh, so it's a technique problem, not the spark plug problem?
Yeah, you want to use an impact.
On a spark plug?
Yeah.
Oh, you're not supposed to use an impact.
Take it out.
Yeah.
Not to put it in, to take it out.
An impact?
Yeah.
Doesn't it just shatter what's left of
You
the...
don't want to twist it.
Oh, okay.
You want to vibrate it.
Oh, interesting. I would have thought the exact
not
opposite.
like a diesel lug nut.
Yeah.
A
So
small
gentle impact.
as opposed to an air ratchet.
A tapping.
You want it to vibrate it as
Yeah.
opposed to twisting it. Well, that's in essence the problem when you don't change your plugs for 150,000
They
miles.
seize
or
up in
15
there.
years. They don't. It's aluminum heads.
Yeah.
Bimetal corrosions
Yep.
and all kinds of problems. Yeah.
Seized up spark plugs are a big,
Yep.
big, big deal.
Yep. And the plugs that break off are tiny.
Oh.
Instead of like the regular spark plug socket, you would have like a 13/16.
Yeah.
It's a half inch.
Let me get this straight.
God, that's nothing.
Yeah, very
Super
small.
skinny. So it's not...
And
Yeah.
then they taper down to the
94-year-old.
bottom, so from a half inch they taper it even shorter.
Accused me of being
It almost looks like a
first day on
one-use
the job
bolt that
because I
snaps the
wasn't
head
quick
off
enough.
when you
Getting
connect your
what he
butt
wanted.
bolt. Oh. You ever seen those?
No.
It's shaped like an hourglass.
Uh-huh.
So when it gets to the proper torque, the head snaps off.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then you
Use
can't
those
take
as
it out.
steering columns.
Oh, they do use them. Okay.
But that's the kind of thing. Yeah, to get them out, you got to drill it. But that's what that spark plug looks like.
Oh.
Because it tapers.
That's why
It's like
the waste
stupid.
falls off. Yeah, what you described kind of sounds like almost like a glow plug in a passenger
Very
engine.
small, like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're about this big.
Could you do that again?
The plugs are about this long.
Holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, it's a weird setup. $20 each on a wholesale for the plugs.
It's less than I thought you were going to say.
That's wholesale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And I think we just did one yesterday or today. It's 600 plus, 300 in plugs.
Wow, so $1,000 plug change.
Just to change plugs. Yeah.
Holy crap, dude.
Yes.
My spark plug change cost me
10 seconds.
with OEM plugs.
Trusted local fiduciary advisors. TrajanWealth.com. 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Let's talk to Sean. Sean, what's going on with you?
I've got a 2003 Chevy Silverado. It's a 6.0, and it has a tick on startup, so it sounds like a lifter, but as soon as it warms up, the tick goes completely away, and it's only at idle. I've never seen anything like that before.
Now, wait, it's only at idle, you mean when it ticks?
When you first start it, it's idling 750 RPM. You'll hear it tick, 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 tick. You bring it up to 1,000, 1,200, it goes away. Smooth, run it up to 3,000, 4,000 RPMs. Let it come back down to an idle, smooth.
Okay, so it's only when you first start it on an idle.
Yeah, it's like the first 5 minutes, 6 minutes at idle. Yeah.
What if you started it up?
I'm wondering if that O-ring for the pickup tube. Okay.
No, go ahead. Ask your question.
Okay, so there's an O-ring on the pickup tube for the oil pump. I've heard that O-ring can be collapsed or break or deform, and so it aerates the oil through the oil pump, causing the lifter to basically bleed out.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that. It wouldn't come back that quickly. If that was leaking, you wouldn't have that. Wouldn't seal itself up. You could just have a weak lifter slightly out of adjustment. Possibly worn a little bit more push rod or anything like that.
Kevin,
have
you looked at the?
I was kind of thinking that too.
How do you adjust lifters?
I was kind of thinking that myself.
How do you adjust?
That's non-adjustable.
No, those are non-adjustable, but the push rod itself could be a little worn out, so it's got a little bit of slop in it. So you need to inspect the rocker arms, push rods, all that, because it could be taking up that slack.
How many miles on it?
170.
Yeah, sure. Okay, it could be a push rod. Now, what about if
an exhaust leak will sound like a lifter, though. If you've got a slight exhaust leak, as it warms up, it'll seal it.
No.
What about
keeping that set for physics? Start it, it's right back.
Kevin, what about a failing fuel injector? Don't they sometimes make a tick, 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 tick sound like a lifter?
Somewhat, but that's a throttle body injection on his, so he doesn't have separate injectors.
Okay, I have a very obvious question. What if you Sean, what if you started it up and just took off right away? Would you hear it?
No, because you wouldn't be idling. It's only at idle.
It's only at idle at first. It's only at idle when it's cool. That's it.
Or on first startup, you let it set 15 minutes, drive to the store, come back, let it set 15 minutes, fired up, it's there.
That is so odd. I think it's just a sticky
That's
one.
cool.
It's sticky.
It could be.
And couldn't
what I would do is throw a can of MOA.
A BG cleaner fix that?
I was just going there. I'd throw a can of MOA in there, let it run for a week or so, see if it doesn't help.
I'll bet you that clears it up because it's not bad enough to be consistent.
Yep.
No, I mean, whenever I've seen a lifter fail, it fails. It ticks no matter what, continuously.
Right. That's right. And sticky ones only do
it.
This
one's not. This one's not.
Yeah, they only do it when they're sticking. So I think what Kevin said, what is that called? BG, what is it called, Kev?
Motor oil additive, and the initials on the bottle are MOA.
Okay.
Or can, I should say. Yeah. Yep, I tried. It works.
How about if I put a little bit of ATF in there?
It's same concept, but I like the MOA better. It's a little better lubricant
God,
and everything
everyone,
else.
you know what?
Yeah.
I've never talked, not one time have I talked to an automotive professional or a mechanic that did not love BG products. I've never talked to one.
Yeah,
ever.
good stuff.
They're great products.
Yeah. Thanks for calling. We got more coming up. Well, let me actually go to some of these texts. Like heat and fuel pressure causes vapor lock. Okay. Sorry. And that's what we talked about. Lack of fuel pressure, I would say, right? Just wondering what happened to the guy that was ripped off a Mercedes deal by a Mercedes dealer in Colorado Springs. You had him on with an attorney, Raina, and she was supposed to help.
Yep.
By the way, I think she still has that case. She did take it. So actually, I have a feeling, because we've asked about it time and time again, I have a feeling they signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, because I think she handled it. I mean, I'm just thinking that because what I'm hearing is nothing from him. And she was not really willing to talk about it, right, Kelly? We asked about it a long time ago. Anyway.
We did, yeah. Yeah, we did.
Okay. And here's another one. Do you have a follow-up on the family? Suze was trying to help get birth certificates. What happened was the parents never got birth certificates on their kids. They went through their whole life trying to skate in the system, and then finally it was catching up to them. I don't actually know. I got to ask Suze about that. I really don't know. She was handling that.
Tom, I know a little bit about it. Suze and I discussed it about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
And nothing. I mean, she even said that there are 2 attorneys that were helping with this matter, but apparently those 3, I think they're in Texas, those 3 people still haven't been able to get any birth certificates. Mm-hmm.
Okay, Tom, I reached out to Discount Bath on your referral list, and they want to have 30% up front. I know you always preach no money up front, but is there an exception for referral list members? Now, this is a touchy subject. No, there's not an exception for referral list people. Now, I don't require that they do that as part of the referral list. I don't say to be on the referral list, you can't take money up front, but I do outline how money should be taken up front if you're on the referral list, which means you can do it in escrow, you can do it with a credit card, which is contestable, or you can do it in some other form, like when materials are delivered or work begins, including planning. But really and truly, no matter what, I don't care who you are, if you put money down, you're at risk. It's not because the company's bad. It's because you're at risk. Anything can happen to anyone. So it's always better not to put money down. That doesn't mean every time you put money down, you'll be ripped off. But I know this for absolutely positively sure, that it's almost impossible to get ripped off if you don't put money down. Now, when I say almost impossible, what do I mean? Well, you could get ripped off in this way. They start work, they tear your house up, they're incompetent and stupid. They didn't take any money, but they leave. Well, you kind of got ripped off, right? So, again, I don't think you have a problem with Discount Bath. I don't think you have a problem with anyone on my referral list, but you could. I mean, so you have to play it by ear. You can say, well, Chris, 30% sounds hefty. Can I pay for materials when they're delivered? Can I pay for plans? Can I pay for work beginning? Can I pay in stages? To me, you negotiate. Again, it's going to have to be a decision you make. Now, are they a cut above regular businesses? Yes. Is it guaranteed? Nothing is. I mean, they could be hit by a bus. But so if you do make money down, like for custom orders, for example, Chris may say, well, we custom order stuff. If they custom order, you can put money down with the factory and just make sure the job is in your name. Because plenty of times when people put money down, the big problem comes when stuff is ordered, like windows or doors or counters or whatever. They're ordered for the house, and something does happen to the company or to the person. You go to the factory and they say, we don't know this is yours. We don't know you paid for this. So you have your address tagged with it and your name. And if you want to pay for advance, of course you can pay for windows that are being custom made for yourself. Of course you can. But you know that they're yours. So if something happens with the company, those windows will be delivered to you if you pay the balance, right? So those are the kinds of things I say, protect yourself no matter who you are. Jay says he has a comment on that fuel deal. Do you mean the ticking sound, or do you mean vapor lock? Go ahead, Jay.
The ticking sound. Normally something that's under pressure that needs hydraulic pressure bleeds off a little bit, like the lifter might bleed off a little, or the cam, they have a little hydraulic hole in it that pushes it when you speed up. It adjusts for cam timing. So if you can kind of isolate where it's at, it's probably one of those two, and it'll never get better. It could get a lot worse. But when you're at idle, you have very low oil pressure compared to when you're really cranking it up. So just kind of pumps it back up, shut it off, its pressure bleeds back off. Any good mechanic shop, I'm sure Kevin could probably figure that one out in just a minute or two.
How do you replace that? Is it the lifter you're replacing?
Yeah, you'd put a set of lifters in. No, never do one lifter, but yeah, generally you just put a set of lifters in it.
Yep, exactly.
You can put new lifters on an old cam, but not vice versa.
All right. Thank you.
That's all I always got.
All right. 303-713-8255.
Kevin, you want anything from the beverage room?
No, thank you. I'm good.
Yeah, gooey Dimitri pizza then.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of America's pastor, Billy Graham. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories. My weight loss journey with Denver region has been absolutely incredible. Only 5 weeks into it, I've lost nearly 25 pounds. I'm using GLP-1 to help, and I'll tell you what, it cuts out all the food noise. You don't go around being hungry. Your stomach feels full. Your brain is not thinking of all this stuff out there. I'm telling you, you have to get with DenverRegen.com. These guys, for less than $300 a month, that includes the initial doctor's visit. It includes all the follow-up, the medication. It includes everything for less than $300. I couldn't be more happy with the people at DenverRegen.com. Attention, freedom lovers. February isn't just any month. It's Freedom February at Triple J Armory. Each week, we're rolling out new, unbeatable deals on firearms, gear, and more. Plus, we've got secret deals hiding in our email. Sign up to get in on the savings. And the best part, these deals are good at both our locations, Littleton and Colorado Springs. Don't miss out. Celebrate your Second Amendment freedom all month long at Triple J Armory.
Retirement planning doesn't have to be complicated. Tune in to the Exact Wealth Show.
Okay, so
Sarah Nugent Null of Exact Benefits. Saturdays at 6 a.m. right here on 630 KHOW.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 970-659-1508. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 970-659-1508. That's 970-659-1508. Taxes was not knowing your full financial picture. Now
taxes is getting and maximizing your refund all in one place. Credit Karma, where a TurboTax expert can do your taxes for you. They'll get you the most money back, guaranteed. Then you can do more with all that money, all in Credit Karma. Now this is taxes. Intuit Credit Karma with TurboTax. Get started today. See guaranteed details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Experts only available with TurboTax Live.
Justin Will knows that we'll all eventually need a will. How about right now? Justin Will makes creating your will easy. Like while you're lounging on the couch easy. Justin Will is designed by attorneys but customized by you, and all documents are state-specific and secure. Find your plan at TrustinWill.com and use offer code RADIO now for 10% off. That's TrustinWill.com, offer code RADIO. Trustin Will is an online estate planning service. Visit TrustinWill.com for details. Seeking a career with meaning? Deliver AI to impact our nation's intelligence. Support digital transformation at critical government agencies. Work on the missions that matter. GDIT. Explore careers in technology and intelligence.
How much time?
GDIT.com/careers.
Hey, man. Okay.
Galaxy Concrete Coatings works for any area like patios, garage floors, driveways, and around pools. Still looks fantastic, and anybody that visits our house, that's all they want to talk about. I mean, they just can't believe how nice the garage floor looks. Click on GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com and remember to like us on
10 seconds, guys.
We are out of this world.
You have our word, we'll treat you right at Done Right Home Improvements. DRHI.com.
Hello, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay, so we've been talking about various things, and I was going through my texts. Let me get to this last one here. Oh, I'm all through them. Okay, so now we've been also doing Stump the Mechanic. If you want to play that game, you can call and try to stump us, and I'll even have a prize for you if you stump us.
Hey, Tom, with EVs, you know how important Mark's, get home button is and everything. How important is that to you, the self-driving?
Now, what do you mean about that? Oh, the self-driving. It's not important. Yeah. It's more of a cool thing for me.
So I think once that improves, I think EVs become more viable.
Okay.
Because you can open up a whole broader market of people, say you go to a restaurant, have a few drinks, maybe your driving skills are diminishing, or, you still have independence, but you don't have to drive the car. Just an idea.
As far as self-driving, I mean, when he says it's the best self-driving ever, I've not experienced it. I mean, does it literally take you from point to point and stop in between? See, I've never experienced that.
That's what he says. He can push the go home button from the parking lot here, and the car does it. Just turns and goes the way it needs to go, stops at lights, stops for traffic, changes lanes to maintain speed, all kinds of stuff.
See, my Beamer doesn't have anything near like that, but my Beamer does have self-driving, but, not anything like that. But I can't take my hands off, though. Does Tesla allow you to take your hands off?
I don't know if it's hands off or it has to see you. There is some limitation, yes. Yeah, it's not. You can't sit in the back seat and have it do.
But he raves about it, like man, I don't even have to touch it. He talks about it being
exactly
okay. Somebody wants to know if, with newer cars, do you have to worry about deep snow as far as if snow got up under the engine, what it could do to you or any electronics? When you go through a drift or something.
Well, like an EV or a regular car. Regular car, not so much. I mean, the snow will melt. It'll get out of there. Yeah, it's not going to hurt anything. I mean, if it's completely submerged and, like in an avalanche or something, yeah, you got an issue. But yeah, just a little bit of snow, no, it's not going to hurt anything.
Now, somebody else wanted to know about, or not wanted to know, wanted to express. Tom, you asked, is it time for an EV? Not this time around. Hardly ever. I think it's going to be at least 30 years before EVs take a foothold. Do you think it'll be that long? 30 years?
I think stuff changes so rapidly. I think 30 years may be a little too far out there.
Things do change rapidly, right?
Probably over the next 10 years, I think there's going to be a big shift.
Well, I will tell you this. Every major car manufacturer now has an electric offering. Every one of them. Every one of them. So, but at some point, they're going to have to go all in. Like I talked about the G-Wagon, okay? That's a very expensive, exaggerated vehicle. They're stupid expensive for no reason. And when I owned mine, I've had two of them. I've owned them before they were before they were like a thing. They weren't a thing. It started to be a thing after my second one when I was into it already. Then it became a thing, and you could not even order one or buy one for MSRP. When I was buying them, you discounted just like a regular car. You go in and negotiate. Not only did they go to MSRP, but they literally went, do you know, Kevin, at one time, it was $150,000 over MSRP to get a regular.
I remember you saying that. Yeah. Just to
and
be
they were
considered.
Selling. Can you imagine the idiot who paid $150,000 more than the invoice? Do you imagine how upside down they were in that car?
Constantly. You never recover from that.
Never. And now, when I was inquiring, they said if you order or buy stock, doesn't matter, you will pay $50,000 over on a $50,000 over on an AMG and $25,000 over on a regular.
They can keep it. Yeah.
I will never, I said it, I will never, ever, even if I lease it, I will never, ever pay over manufacturer MSRP. Never. I mean, I don't even like paying MSRP. But how much they make on an MSRP, I don't know on that one. I know on some, you have a certain amount you make, and then you make on top of that, you make a dealer holdback at the end of the year for some manufacturers. So, so I wonder how much they make on what do you think? Any percentage? Do you want?
It's hard to tell. Yeah, it's got to be based on similar dealerships. I don't imagine it's a whole different platform, but yeah, but that's crazy. That kind of a markup still. Yeah.
Not just crazy.
It's still going on.
It's undoable, but yet there are people every day willing to do it. That's why they do it.
That's why they do it. Yep.
I mean,
because they can.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm asking right now, I just put it in there, how much profit is built in on an MSRP? And of course, they'll never answer this. They'll never. Hold on. A 2020. Okay. Here's the MSRP on a 2025. What do you think it is? It's one
with or without the bump.
The dealer buys it. The dealer buys it for $140,000 from the manufacturer.
Wow.
The MSRP is $148,250, so they're going to make $8,250 on that car if they sold it for that. They will never sell it for that. So, first of all, the MSRP might be $148,000. You will never even see that car, a 2025, for less than $175,000. So
yeah, looking online, they're $175 and $185, $190.
That's right. So So that's how much water there is in those things. And that's ridiculous. Wow. The only one they're selling at MSRP, in fact, they'll go behind 7,500 is the electric one. And I have a feeling that's because it's a real gamble to take a conventional car like that and do nothing about it. You don't make it lighter. You don't make it different. You don't make it more aerodynamic. You simply slap batteries under it and motors on the wheels. And you call it. And by the way, you would think that would give you room in the front? Absolutely not. There is no frunk on that thing. There's the same old storage. That I don't know what they're doing with all that space where the engine would be. I don't know what they're doing with it.
Yeah,
but it's completely shrouded, covered up, and you can't get to it. So you open the hood, you see nothing but plastic. There's nothing to service, but you can't see it. So anyway, so they're making, if they sold it at invoice, they'd make like $8,200. Now so I asked him, if somebody orders it, what's the harm of doing it at invoice? What's the harm? You're going to make $8,200 without ever floor planning it, not a dime into it. You know what their reasoning was? We only get a certain number of allotments. So we have to make bank on every single one of them because we just have to. Drew says he was poisoned by a pharmacist. Now that's serious. You hang on there. We'll come right back to you right after this. Is that the good old-fashioned Drew?
Billy says yes.
Okay.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
Despite this morning's wintry weather, it's pretty calm driving throughout the Denver Metro, I-25 north and southbound. Showing highway speeds through town. The same goes for I-70 east and westbound to and from DIA. Out west into the high country, some rough driving I-70 westbound starting at about Georgetown and through to the Loveland ski area. Back to town on the south end, I-225 north and southbound. No complaints through Aurora. With traffic, I'm Mark Swan.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of America's pastor, Billy Graham. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
Gravina! That's the name. That's the last name of a family that's famous for window siding and doors. The father started in the 70s. Larry took over for his dad in the 80s. 950 West Evans. Now Nick is in the company. They have 50 lines of windows. Why do I mention that? Because heritage is important in a company. So is variety. You don't want to be steered to one kind all the time. And Gravina will never do that. They have 50 lines of windows, multiple lines of siding, plus, of course, all kinds of doors. Gravina, that's 303 Gravina, 303 Gravina, or gravinawindows.com.
Yeah, that's right. That's all they do. They got to be in contact with you somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a fireplace?
Huh? Yeah, we never use it, though. Look at this. I don't like heat.
Yeah, but...
No, I don't like heat.
Crack the window.
No, man, I just...
You don't... But
I'm one of those guys that go through Costco and they got a heater on. I go...
Oh, God. Wow.
People stop like,
yeah.
That feels good.
Yeah. They kind of bask in it.
I feel like a vampire.
But a fireplace is so nice on an afternoon like this. Oh man, I want a fireplace so bad. That's it. I need to move out of my loft. I need.
I could live there too.
Yeah, I don't want it anymore. Yeah, I want to be laying around in front of the fireplace with cats and dogs, and no sirens. I think I have hearing damage from the sirens.
That loud?
There are that many.
Oh.
I hear 20, 25 sirens a day.
Seriously? Wow.
From my loft.
See, in the winter, I don't hear anything in my house.
See, that's
it's so well insulated
yeah.
and everything that, you know, summertime, obviously, when the windows are open,
it's different. Yeah.
Because we're about 3 blocks off of Alameda, so we're close enough to Alameda. You can actually hear traffic noise sometimes.
But only when the windows are open.
Yeah, yeah. I like to sit out on the patio at night.
Hey, Tom.
Even in the winter, if it's not. If it's above
Yeah.
freezing, I'm outside.
Hi.
That's
Yep.
What?
Get a little burn.
Is it possible for you to turn off our camera feed?
Yep.
That's great.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. As soon as you disconnect, it's gone. As long as I leave the bottle inside, I'm okay.
I know the feeling. Oh, do we know the feeling?
My grandpa had a setup in his house in Florida, and at the stroke of 4, there are ice cubes hitting a glass.
Wow.
I don't care where he is, what he's doing. He's going to have scotch at 4 o'clock.
Nice.
And he would take his little step ladder out. His electric cabinet was higher up. Unlock it, get his bottle, do all this, and
are we out of here? Okay. See, that's what I. Okay, cool. Oh, no problem.
we'd be able to hear Tom or no?
Okay. Oh, we can listen in here. We can stay here. We don't need to exit. I want.
But his whole thing was 2 drinks, and that was it.
Oh yeah,
that's how he regulated.
That's sound policy. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's the proper policy.
Well, now that I think about it, he might talk to you.
Yeah. Is this something we can lock?
Yeah. Here, just put him in the drawer. I'll lock it when I get back.
Okay.
It's fine.
Kelly, I don't need it because he doesn't need to talk to me.
Just put everything in there. Close the door. The drawer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in case. Sorry, my the guy that does my eye therapy is a very strict.
Well, that's all right.
Guy.
Okay, I'm gonna leave anyway. I gotta go.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool. And it just, if I'm late to the slightest extent, it is. You're not helping yourself by being late.
There was an Irish whiskey that I used to just love. And they quit making it because Jim Beam bought out the suppliers that they were using.
Oh, no.
Because they were competing with Jim Beam in the Irish whiskey category. It's called Michael Collins. Yeah, they stopped making it. But it was a dangerous one. Take the lid off and... It was
10 seconds, guys.
Good. I have one.
Formidable nominees, including Margaret Brennan and Representative Jasmine Crockett. Deborah Flora and Christian Toto join me to break it down on the right side of Hollywood, starting at 2, right here on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Drew says he's being poisoned by a pharmacist. Drew, what's going on?
Yes, Tom. First of all, let me say this. Many pharmacists are very good people.
Yeah.
But this particular pharmacist, Wegmans Pharmacy in East Hanover, named Eric, he overdosed me, violating the instructions on the things he was selling me 4 times. And finally, last Sunday, I didn't know what was going on. He told me to take 2 different laxatives at the same time. The Poison Control Center told me that forces overstimulation, and you're constantly going number 2 and straining. I strained for 9 hours, then I collapsed, and they ambulanced me off to the emergency room. I've been there 3 out of 4 of the last nights because I'm overlaxed. And it keeps going number 2 all the time. I feel like I'm dying.
Wasn't Drew going to sue you?
Hey, Drew, this is very important. I need to ask you, are you talking about, so you're not talking about any prescription drugs at all. You're talking about his advice for over-the-counter drugs?
Yes.
Okay, so you went into the pharmacist and said that you had some constipation, and then he recommended 2 laxatives?
Yes, at the same time. I couldn't read the fine print, so I trusted him.
No, I get it.
The
But what
Poison
did
Control
he
Center-
recommend? Which two laxatives?
Clearlax, which is Miralax, and then a couple hours later he said to take the stool softener with stimulant, and that causes constant excretion.
Okay, stool softener is often used with laxatives, not the stool softener with stimulant. Did you say the stool softener was used with stimulant?
Yes. So I'm overstimulated, and he never warned me.
All right,
His
hold on.
supervisor told me
Hey,
he
put
should
him on
warn me
hold.
of these.
Do me a favor, Kachina. Let's get him back on, and then I want a list of the medications that he was prescribed. Well, have a great weekend. We're out of time. Save all your problems for me.
All right, you're clear, buddy. See ya.
Sorry,
At
guys.
Real Tom Martino. And stay connected with all of us at 630 KHOW.